Chapter 198. The beauty rolled up the bead curtain and sat down with a frown on her face. However, no one knew who she hated in her heart. Inside the red curtains, Bing Ling and Yu Ling's tears had yet to dry, but their eyes were blurry and filled with happiness. Along with a deep roar, 320 years of accumulated love gushed out at this moment. Ning Fan looked at the two ladies who were smiling sweetly and shook his head. "Master. Thank you." The two of them smiled. "You are serving me, but you still want to thank me. Interesting." Ning Fan laughed again. "We are willing to serve you for the rest of our lives. Please don't abandon us." Their eyes flashed with infatuation. I won't abandon you." Ning Fan stroked their hair and sighed softly. Then, he put on his clothes and got up. The reason why he had sex with them was to appease their hearts and also to pollute Bei Xiaoman's Dao heart. Ning Fan squinted his eyes and sensed the room next door. He even sent out a trace of devil sense to disperse the sounds of pleasure to the room next door. Suddenly, the room next door shook, and a red light rushed out of the window in a panic, cursing. "Shameless! Shameless! Shameless! Zhou Ming! Zhou Ming! You are really shameless. You will die a horrible death for showing me such an unsightly thing." Bei Xiaoman cursed as she ran away. She turned into a ray of red light and flew back to the southern tower. Her bright eyes flickered with red light, brewing with uncontrollable killing intent. That killing intent was the sign of losing control of the Gue Star's killing intent. Damn Zhou Ming! How dare he show me such a thing? Damn it! Shameless! Despicable! Bei Xiaoman's petite, flat chest shattered with a shattering sound. At the next moment, a trace of blood flowed down from the corner of her mouth. A crack appeared on her Dao heart once again. That's right. He must have discovered that I was spying on him. He did it on purpose. He purposely released the devil sense at the end. He noticed that I was spying on him. So, he wanted to pollute my Dao heart. I am the Dao of slaughter, but he is the Dao of pleasure. Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! Her Dao of slaughter had been invaded by Ning Fan's Dao of pleasure. The evil sense that was planted in her heart by Ning Fan could not be dispersed for a long time. It was almost forbidden to kill people in the Black Warrior City, but Bei Xiaoman's killing intent had gone out of control, turning into crimson red. A hidden pink star slowly appeared between her eyebrows. This was the first divine star that she had painstakingly cultivated, the Gue Yin killing star. However, along with the shattering of his Dao heart, the Gue star flashed brilliantly and a crack appeared. "Zhou Ming, you're shameless. Shameless. I, Bei Xiaoman, will definitely cut you. Along the way, Bei Xiaoman acted as if she was possessed by a killing star. Any cultivator who stood in her way, no matter who they were or what their cultivation base was, she would kill them all. Her white hands were stained with blood, and she was like a fiend that no one dared to provoke. Only the smell of blood could calm her blood. Human blood is very fishy. Night fell. On the bed in one of the rooms of the Qin house, the two tired sisters were leaning on Ning Fan's side in silence. He stroked the hair on the two women's temples with complicated feelings. That Bei Xiaoman knows how powerful I am this time. I don't think she will provoke me for the time being. In that case, I can break through to the mid-nascent soul realm after purchasing a human cauldron in the Pill Cauldron Gate. I wonder if there are enough nascent soul realm human cauldrons in the Pill Cauldron Gate. Nascent soul realm human cauldrons were not cabbages. Even if the Pill Cauldron Gate nurtured them carefully, there would not be too many of them. His heart would not waver when he dual cultivated with the two ladies. His heart would not waver when he purchased human cauldrons. His heart would not waver when he injured Bei Xiaoman. At this moment, Ning Fan was no longer a young man. His heart had already been possessed by the devil. His heart seemed to have turned into a dark night. The night sky was pitch black, and only a few stars were worth cherishing. The rest of them could be killed. As for the Bing and Yu sisters, they should be the small stars among the stars. Bei Xiaoman was not. Master. Under the moonlight, the two of them would moan from time to time with a shy and sweet voice. They would turn around from time to time, causing their lower bodies to feel a tearing pain. It was not plucking but dual cultivation. The two of them had gained a lot from this first experience. Ning Fan was at the nascent soul realm while the two of them were at the mid-gold core realm. This dual cultivation could increase their magic power by at least 10 years. If they dual cultivate with Ning Fan, it would not be difficult for them to form their nascent soul within 10 years. After all, Ning Fan was a supreme human cauldron to them. He took out the jade slip that Qin Ming gave him and pressed it on his glabella. His spirit sense entered it. After a long while, he said in a deep voice. The Pill Cauldron Gate is in Mo Nan City. With my speed, I can reach there in a day. If I use the gray instant movement that is comparable to a grand cultivator, I can travel 1,000 li in 2 hours. There are still 10 days before the auction. 10 days is enough for the two of them to recuperate. 10 days later, we will go to Mo Nan. He stretched out his hand and a trace of gray flame lingered on the center of his palm. This flame was the yin-yang flame. Its mysteriousness was to fuse ice and fire into one, creating a trace of yin-yang power to kill. Although Ning Fan condensed this flame in 7 Apricot City, the flame and cold qi were not strong enough to unleash its power. Now, the black demon flame and the white bone flame, the bone prison breath and the cold pine marrow were 2 types of 5th-grade spiritual flames. The power of this flame could injure a spirit-severing realm cultivator. Of course, it was just an injury. Besides, even if there was only a trace of yin-yang power in this flame, it was far beyond Ning Fan's control. This was his true trump card. If he uses it, he would certainly suffer a severe backlash. In the space inside the tower, Ning Fan had completely activated the yin-yang power of this flame. Almost instantly, it burned the mountains and rivers within 10,000 li into nothingness. However, the price was that Ning Fan would not be able to use any magic power for 3 months. That was a great power that far surpassed the nascent soul realm and spirit-severing realm. This flame was the reason why the Divine Transformation Realm Stone Soldier was afraid of Ning Fan that day. Instant movement was due to the combination of magic power and sense. The fusion of ice and fire made it turn black. Only grand cultivators could truly move 1,000 li in an instant. As for ordinary nascent soul realm cultivators like Jingzhua, it was already rare for them to be able to teleport tens of li in an instant. At this moment, Ning Fan truly had the power to protect himself and dominate the endless outer sea. The Pill Cauldron Gate has a limited number of human cauldrons. However, there are still 2 large islands where rogue cultivators gather in the outer sea. There must be other forces selling human cauldrons. This time, I must travel across the entire outer sea. After breaking through to the mid-nascent soul realm, I will advance to the late nascent soul realm as soon as possible. If there aren't enough human cauldrons in the internal sea, I will go to the internal sea. If there aren't enough human cauldrons in the internal sea, I will sweep through the countries along the coastline. With my current strength, as long as I'm careful, the Rain Palace won't be able to capture me even if I violate the laws of the world. Cultivation Base. Without cultivation base, I can't protect anything. In the endless sea where strength is everything, it's hard to move a single step without strength. I wonder how many more years I have to stay in the endless sea. I wonder how Jihe is doing. He looked at the darkening night sky and remained silent for a long time. All of a sudden, a sense of danger rose in his heart. His expression changed. Now that he was still in the Xianwu city, he actually had such a strong sense of danger. It was definitely not normal. He pinched his fingers and tried to divine the source of the danger. However, he could not find out anything at all. He could only vaguely predict that someone would attack him tonight. Without a doubt, the person who attacked him was definitely not a nascent soul realm expert. He was afraid that it was a spirit-severing old monster. Ning Fan did not dare to be careless. He immediately patted his storage pouch and took out the tortoiseshell. The heavenly stems and earthly branches were arranged in order. He closed his eyes and calculated. After a long time, he opened his eyes and revealed a trace of cold light. Although he could not predict the exact situation, he could vaguely predict that the person who attacked him tonight was after Bei Xiaoman. Ning Fan had hurt Bei Xiaoman's Dao heart, so someone would avenge her. Before he could do anything, his eyes suddenly turned cold. A boundless aura was rushing towards him in the night. There was no way to avoid it. The only way was to fight. On this night, Bei Xiaoman was in agony. During the day, her massacre had shocked countless cultivators in the Xianwu city. Now that it was late at night, she was still angry, but it had scared the servants. Unknowingly, the Gold Core Realm servants flew into a rage and returned to the southern tower with bloodstains all over her body, shocking the entire Xianwu city. Miss. Who made you so angry? Do you need me to help you vent your anger? Get lost. All of you, get lost. The petite Bei Xiaoman covered her head with the quilt, unable to calm her anger. She calmed herself down and wanted to sleep. But as soon as she closed her eyes, the image of Zhou Ming's hateful smile appeared in her dream. Step by step, he walked towards her, naked and hot. Ignoring her resistance, she tore her clothes and silk stockings, destroying her innocence. No. She woke up from the nightmare, her thin clothes were drenched in sweat. Zhou Ming. You're shameless. She cursed, but in her heart, there was a trace of fear towards Zhou Ming. With her arrogant personality, this was the first time in her life that she was afraid of someone. Heart-shattering devil sense. This Zhou Ming is really ruthless. I can't sleep. Stone Warrior, tell me a story. Stone Warrior. Where is he? Bei Xiaoman's eyes were filled with killing intent. Where did this damned Stone Warrior go to? The moon hung high in the night sky. A faintly discernible qi appeared in the Qin pavilion. A trace of boundless anger locked onto Ning Fan. The jerky and strange accent sounded like the cracking of rocks in Ning Fan's ears. Ant people. You must give me an explanation for hurting Miss Xiaoman's Dao heart. It was an extremely powerful voice that could make any nascent soul realm cultivator tremble. Ning Fan's eyes widened in surprise. The intruder was indeed a spirit-severing realm cultivator who came for him. Explanation. What a joke. She wanted to kill me, but what explanation did she give me? Almost immediately, Ning Fan kept the two girls into his cauldron ring. With a flash of his robe, he turned into a ray of light and stood under the moon. The night wind was strong. His long hair fluttered in the wind and his eyes were solemn. The person in front of him was a stone warrior puppet in the form of a mountain giant. It was the extremely obscure spirit-severing realm qi that he sensed from Bei Xiaoman's side. Apologize to Miss Xiaoman. Mend the crack in her Dao heart. The stone warrior said coldly. What if I refuse? Ning Fan sneered. Die. The stone warrior's eyes flashed with ferocity. Is that so? At this moment, Ning Fan's eyes flashed with coldness. Yin-yang fire burned on his palm. He was not a match for the stone warrior, but with this fire, he could injure the stone warrior. The stone warrior's hollow eyes suddenly turned cold. It was this fire that gave him a great sense of danger that day. That was why he did not listen to Bei Xiaoman's order to capture Ning Fan. However, the situation was different now. Today, Ning Fan had injured Bei Xiaoman. Hence, the stone warrior had to capture Ning Fan even if it was afraid of him. While the stone warrior was displaying his might, Luo Yu's yawn could be heard from within the yin-yang lock. She stretched her body and sneered. The people of the Lost World Palace love to oppress others with their power. Even a puppet is so arrogant. Hee hee. My good brother, do you want me to help you subdue this stone warrior and turn him into your puppet? Oh. Is there such a way? Ning Fan's eyes lit up. If he had a secret technique to trick the stone warrior, he would not risk his life to injure it. He could secretly capture this spirit-severing realm puppet and turn it into his fighter. In that case, he would be almost invincible in the endless outer sea. Of course there is. Didn't you tell me before that I had some grudges with the Lost World Palace in the past? That's why I spent a lot of effort to find a way to deal with the Stone Soldier 8 formation of the Lost World Palace. It's just a mere stone soldier and a divine transformation realm cultivator. However, if I help you to capture this puppet, you must remember my kindness. Of course. The corner of Ning Fan's mouth rose. If he could capture this stone warrior, he would remember her kindness. A divine transformation stage puppet huh? Chapter 199. The stone warrior's battle intent sealed the vast sky. Under this battle intent, all movements in this place were sealed off by space, not a single thing could be leaked out. No one knew that there was a spirit-severing realm puppet confronting Ning Fan in the night sky. This stone warrior shouldn't show himself or let others know about it. Even a great cultivator wouldn't be able to break the seal and escape. This was a common technique used by spirit-severing realm cultivators, but it was Ning Fan's first time seeing it. Born to fight. The stone warrior's voice was as loud as thunder, but no one in the outside world could hear it. A fierce battle intent swept across the stone warrior's body. As a puppet, he only had one mission and that was to fight. This pure battle intent was enough to make a great cultivator tremble in fear. However, when it reached Ning Fan's body, it melted and dissolved with ease. Moreover, there was a faint rain intent spreading around Ning Fan's body. Tonight, rain fell on Penglai. Under Ning Fan's control, the rain intent didn't dissolve the spatial seal. The stone warrior was afraid of showing himself, but he also wanted to capture it to avoid detection and get rich quietly. The divine rain intent is good for the ants, but you have to die for hurting Miss Xiaoman. Xiaoman? The name, Bei Xiaoman, really suits her personality. As soon as the stone warrior finished speaking, he threw a punch. All of his strength fused into the punch and turned into the sound of mountains collapsing. Ning Fan sneered. He turned into 100 zhang tall giant and slapped the fist light with his icy hand. Luo Yu had a secret technique that could subdue the stone warrior. However, it was difficult for her to execute it with her current magic power and she couldn't complete the technique immediately. She was trapped in the yin-yang locket for countless years and her magic power was almost completely absorbed by the profound yin world. Even if she left the locket, it would take her a long time to recover her magic power. She even lent a trace of divine Dao technique, Jia's flame power, to Ning Fan for revenge. It would take at least 3 breaths to execute the secret technique. In the past, Luo Yu could do it with a wave of her hand. This punch. Ning Fan had to withstand it. He had to withstand all the fist lights that would come after 3 breaths. The stone warrior's strength was beyond Ning Fan's expectation. He turned into 100 zhang tall giant. The giant palm slammed into the stone soldier's fist, but in just a moment, a force that could collapse mountains exploded from the point where the fist and palm collided. Immediately, Ning Fan realized that Shi Bing's body refinement realm was not the silver bone realm but the jade life realm. Jade life realm. A being that could rival a soul formation cultivator. Moreover, the stone warrior was a soul formation cultivator. He cultivated both dharma and body and had terrifying combat ability. Stone warrior didn't use any body technique in this punch. There was nothing fancy about it. However, when Ning Fan's fist and palm collided, he felt a great sense of crisis. His eyes were filled with surprise, but he did not panic. The power of his palm spread out, turning into layers of ice-shattering force, hitting the giant's fist. With the power of the ice shattering, the giant was sealed in ice, and the heavens and earth shook. After shaking and scattering, he managed to dissipate half of the stone soldier's strength. Ning Fan used this opportunity to quickly withdraw from the battle. Every palm strike shattered the ice and landed on his fist light. In the blink of an eye, he struck out 19 times. After 19 times of freezing heaven and earth, the world was frozen. Only then did he manage to divert all the force from the punch and block it. The Jade Life Fist was such a bitter battle. Is this the body refining realm above the Silver Bone realm? Without using any body technique, I can kill a nascent soul realm cultivator. His cultivation was at the soul formation realm, and his body was refined to the Jade Life realm. Even if he used his trump card, he wouldn't be able to win against the Stone Warrior. Ning Fan took a deep breath and had a clearer understanding of his own strength. He could fight against a grand cultivator with his various techniques, but a true spirit-severing realm cultivator was far stronger than a grand cultivator. Ning Fan was shocked by the power of the Stone Warrior's fist, but the Stone Warrior was also shocked by Ning Fan's techniques. He initially thought that Ning Fan was only relying on the mysterious fire technique. But now, it seemed like this skinny young man's body refining realm was not weak at all. It was rare for someone with a skeletal age of 340 to reach the nascent soul realm and silver bone realm in body refining. Even without using any body technique, that punch was more than enough to kill a mid-nascent soul realm cultivator. However, Ning Fan managed to divert the force from his palm by diverting it 20 times. Even the descendants of the fiend god veins in the four heavens could not do this when they were still at the nascent soul realm. It seems like not only Mistress has made a mistake, even I have made a mistake. You're able to block my attack at the early stage. That alone is enough for you to obtain the quota of the Lost World Palace. Unfortunately, you've offended Mistress. I can't give you the quota. Quota of the 9 worlds? Ning Fan was doubtful, but he did not ask about it. There were so many unknowns in this world. Who would have the mood to find out the answer one by one? There were 2 breaths left. However, Stone Warrior no longer looked down on Ning Fan. He would no longer show mercy to Ning Fan. He took a huge step forward with his mountain body. With 1 step, he became 100 zhang tall. With 2 steps, he became 200 zhang tall. After 7 steps, he had turned into a 700 zhang tall mountain. In front of the mountain giant, Ning Fan's 300 zhang tall giant was like a dwarf. His height was only the calf of the mountain giant. The moment he turned into a mountain, a vast amount of magical power condensed on his fist. In an instant, his entire arm turned into a giant stone sword. Stone technique, stone fist sword. This was a low-grade divine realm body refining technique. Ning Fan's eyes were filled with shock. Under this sword, his nascent soul showed signs of crumbling. This sword was also a sword of great momentum. He turned himself into a mountain, used the mountain as momentum, used his heart to suppress the momentum and used his momentum as a sword. A 700 zhang tall giant with a divine realm body refining technique. This sword was a sword of momentum that was even stronger than his first nascent soul sword. Without any hesitation, Ning Fan withdrew from his avatar and pointed at his glabella. Under the starlight, the separation slayer appeared in his hand. The sword of momentum was hard to defend against. The only way was to use the sword to block the sword. He held the sword in his left hand and drew a circle in the air with the tip of the sword. The circle contained an unfathomable sword chi. With his right finger, a sword light shot out and drew the power of the mountain. The circle was clearly drawn in the sky. However, as the sword shadow went down, the mountain giant felt a sharp pain in his chest. A similar crack appeared on the stone heart. As the stone heart shattered, a wispy sword light that was like a speck of dust exploded inside the giant's body. Then, the sword light spread out from the giant's body like thousands of fine threads. The threads pierced out from the inside and outside of the giant's body, causing endless rumbling sounds and shattering. This was the 4th sword of the nascent soul sword. It was the unmodified heart-drawing sword. This sword didn't need to be modified. It was already at the peak of the nascent soul realm. Even if a deity transformation cultivator was hit by this sword, his heart would be pierced by the sword. His whole body would be cut by the sword from the inside out and he would definitely be injured. He pointed with his right finger, and the sound of mountains collapsing and the earth shattering rang out, causing the mountain giant's mountainous body to tremble. It began to crumble and shatter. The more his body was destroyed, the stronger the sword light from Ning Fan's finger. This was the sword finger that borrowed the mountain to form a sword. This was the finger sword technique. One finger, mountain shatterer. It was even more effective against mountain giants with their mountain bodies. A sword and a finger. These two techniques had actually caused the mountain giant's body to hesitate, and the might of a single sword strike was unimaginable. It was also forcefully shaved off. Even though he was at the divine transformation stage, he was slightly injured by this round of attacks. Even though the injury was insignificant, Stone Warrior's expression was unsightly. It was impossible for a nascent soul cultivator to injure a soul formation cultivator. If this news were to spread, it would definitely cause a commotion in the outer endless sea. Before Ning Fan, even a peak nascent soul realm cultivator could not leave a single scratch on a divine transformation realm cultivator's body. However, Ning Fan was only at the early realm. He had done something that not even great cultivators could do. However, Ning Fan was not arrogant. The finger sword and the four swords of the nascent soul sword were his strongest trump cards. However, they could only cause a slight injury to Stone Warrior. A divine transformation realm cultivator is very powerful, only one breath left. Stone Warrior's heart skipped a beat. This little cultivator in front of him had a lot of tricks that exceeded his expectations. If he was not mistaken, be it the finger sword or the nascent soul sword, they seemed to be items from the sword world. The sword world was insignificant in the eyes of the four heavens. However, as a nascent soul realm cultivator of the rain world, Ning Fan was able to obtain the secret technique of the sword world. If Stone Warrior knew that Ning Fan was so outstanding, he would definitely advise Bei Xiaoman to recruit him. Bestowing a spot in the 9 worlds was better than not finding a single person. Unfortunately, both of them were enemies now. It would be difficult to recruit him again. Moreover, Ning Fan had injured his mistress. It was impossible for Stone Warrior to recruit him again. From the moment he was born, he only had one mission: to protect Bei Xiaoman. Anyone who harmed Bei Xiaoman would be his enemy. No matter how many tricks you have, you are still an ant in the lower world. You should know that there are as many people as you in the 4 heavens as there are stars in the sky. Stone Warrior dispersed his lofty mountain avatar and returned to his bluestone body. Immediately, his bluestone body emitted traces of red light. As the mistress's servant, I am connected to her mind. I have been bestowed with a trace of the Gui star's killing intent. This technique is the Gui vein's divine ability. With this technique, I have killed a spirit-severing realm cultivator. You can't take it. Gui technique, 7 kills. Stone Warrior pointed his finger and 7 blood-red stars appeared in the night sky one after another. The 7 stars connected and the power of the 7 stars turned into 7 rays of blood-red light that fell from the sky. The blood-red light was extremely faint, like the light of a firefly. However, this kind of illusory blood-red light sent chills down Ning Fan's spine. It was as if he would immediately be destroyed and dissipated if he came into contact with a trace of this blood-red light. This technique was very powerful. The only way to overcome this technique was to rely on the yin-yang flame. Even a spirit-severing realm attack from a demon general was not enough. That spirit-severing realm attack was just an ordinary attack from a demon general. However, this technique was Stone Warrior's full strength. He could only rely on the yin-yang flame. There were 2 ways to use the yin-yang flame. Firstly, it could extract a trace of yin-yang energy to kill the enemy. Secondly, it could be used to stop the attack. That day when Ning Fan came out of the tower, the technique that frightened Jing Zhuo was this body-stopping finger. This technique borrowed the power of yin yang but did not harm the enemy. Therefore, the backlash was not that great. After Ning Fan studied the Eastern Ocean Bell, he had integrated the body-stopping divine ability of the bell into this finger. With this finger, those whose cultivation base was lower than his would be permanently sealed unless he dispelled the technique. With Ning Fan's current magical power, it was easy for him to freeze an early realm cultivator. He could freeze a mid-realm cultivator for 10 breaths, a late realm cultivator for 3 breaths and a peak great cultivator for 1 breath. Even a spirit-severing realm cultivator would be dazed for a moment if they were frozen during the execution of the technique and would be forced to stop the technique. Facing the killing technique that he obviously could not resist, Ning Fan's eyes flashed with gray light. Gray flames appeared on his finger and he pointed at Stone Warrior from afar. As soon as he pointed his finger, a gray light flashed. Immediately, gray halos spread out from where Ning Fan pointed like ripples on the sea. Then, the sound of ancient scriptures could be heard. Under the reverberation of these ripples, even Stone Warrior who was a spirit-severing realm cultivator was dazed for a moment. As for the 7 killing technique, in that moment of distraction, it broke apart on its own. Not only that. Stone Warrior's empty eyes suddenly lost their color when he saw the body-stopping finger. Even if he discovered that Ning Fan was a void fragmentation realm old monster, he might not be as shocked as he was now. The Eastern Sky Ancestor Emperor's heaven-stopping technique. No, it's not. That technique has been lost for a long time. Its power is far beyond the body-stopping technique. Humph. Insignificant skill. Although you managed to stop my attack, this technique consumes a lot of magic power. It's not something that you can bear. Let's see how many more times you can use it. I don't need to use it anymore. Everything has ended. You have lost. 3 breaths have passed. 3 breaths had passed. A secret technique came out from the yin-yang locket. It carried Luo Yu's tired voice. It seemed like it was extremely difficult for her to execute this technique. The technique was like a faint light. However, after it entered Ning Fan's sea of consciousness, it immediately shook and dispersed. Then, it turned into qi and strengthened Ning Fan's body. There was a trace of simple and unadorned qi. It came from Ning Fan's eyes. His long hair was as black as ink and his eyes were as cold as indifference. That gaze seemed to be able to see through the stars and compete with the sun and moon. Indifference. That kind of gaze was indifferent to the common people. Even a true immortal would not be able to have such an indifferent gaze. Only those who were stronger than a true immortal could have such an indifferent gaze. When that gaze met Stone Warrior's eyes, Stone Warrior's body began to tremble uncontrollably. It was a kind of fear. An instinctive fear. It was as if his entire lifetime of cultivation and magic power was going to be buried under that indifferent gaze. It was because Stone Warrior was a puppet. And this technique was effective against puppets. It had a heaven-defying restraint. This is, the Northern Sky Ancestor Emperor's morning technique. This is impossible. Stone Warrior's face turned pale. Under that gaze, he felt as if he had met his natural enemy and could not move at all. He could not resist it with force. There was no reply. There was no reply at all. Ning Fan remained silent. It was as if a mere divine transformation realm Stone Warrior was not worth his words at all. Morning technique. Life prisoner. Puppets of 100 million worlds, none of you can take my life. All of you will become my life prisoner. One finger shall imprison your life. At that moment, Ning Fan lifted his finger and pointed it. That finger turned into a ray of black light. Like moonlight, it pierced through the night sky and went into Stone Warrior's body. On the left side of his body, a black crescent moon mark was branded. Stone Warrior's body trembled. When the moon mark was formed, his life was already in Ning Fan's hands. His life was not in his control and his death was not in his control. Who are you? Who exactly are you? 2 of the 5 ancestor emperors' secret techniques have been obtained by you. This is impossible. It was indeed impossible. The Eastern Ocean Bell only had a slight connection with the heaven sealing technique. As for the morning technique, it was obtained by Luo Yu and it was an incomplete technique. It did not belong to Ning Fan at all. However, there was no need to explain all of this to Stone Warrior. He did not need to know about it. Ning Fan closed his eyes. When he opened them again, the indifference in his eyes disappeared and his eyes turned cold again. From today onwards, you will be my slave. Don't even think about it. Stone Warrior was infuriated. However, Ning Fan's eyes flashed with a cold light. With just a slight movement, under the influence of the moon seal, there was a trace of unfathomable divine ability power that caused Stone Warrior's Jade Life Realm physical body to crumble uncontrollably. It was Stone Warrior who purposely made Miss Hong happy when his physical body was shattered by Bei Xiaoman. However, Ning Fan's attack directly took away his life. Even though he regained his stone body after a few moments, he was severely injured this time. Stone Warrior immediately realized that if Ning Fan wanted to kill him, he would have already died when the moon mark moved. I will die. A dignified divine transformation realm expert like me will die in the hands of a junior from the lower world. Stone Warrior who was born to fight was afraid. It was not that he was afraid of death. Instead, he was afraid that the 4th lady's trial in the Rain World would be judged as a failure after his death. Moreover, without his protection, Bei Xiaoman's safety would become a problem. What do I have to do for you to let me go? Noisy. Ning Fan's eyes flashed and Stone Warrior was shattered again. His injuries became even more serious. Let me go. Why should I let you go? You came to capture me and used your strength to oppress me. Now that your strength is weak, stop dreaming and ask me to let you go. Has the identity of the 4 heavens of the Lost World Palace muddled your mind? Are you so arrogant that you think you can receive extraordinary treatment in any place in the Rain World? Impossible. At least not in front of Ning Fan. If you don't let me go, I won't help you in battle. Is that so? What if I capture Bei Xiaoman now, and make her my cauldron? She has lost your protection now. I still remember what I did to you in the past. How dare you? If you hurt Miss Hong, the other 3 tower masters and the divine transformation realm expert of the main tower, Lu Qing, will hunt you down. If you dare to taint Miss Hong's innocence or harm her life, I can tell you this. The Rain World is nothing in the eyes of the Lost World Palace. If Miss Hong dies, the Rain World will be destroyed. Stone Warrior initially thought that his words could scare Ning Fan. However, it only made Ning Fan laugh. What does the destruction of the Rain World have to do with me? What does it have to do with me? What does it have to do with me? What does it have to do with me? This was the divine ability of a late nascent soul realm cultivator. However, when it was used by Ning Fan, it was much more intimidating compared to a late nascent soul realm cultivator. Stone Warrior was severely injured and his mind was shaken. The arrogant look on his face disappeared instantly. A mouthful of black blood spurted out from his mouth. Madman. He's a madman. He doesn't care about the survival of the Rain World at all. He might even kill me if he goes mad. It was not a good feeling to be threatened by a mere nascent soul realm cultivator from the lower world. However, Stone Warrior had fallen into Ning Fan's hands. There was no way for him to escape. There was nothing he could say to threaten Ning Fan. You're loyal to Bei Xiaoman, but this loyalty isn't enough. However, this loyalty has nothing to do with me. How about this, let's make a deal. What deal? You will become my slave and fight for me. I won't hurt Bei Xiaoman. The grudge between us will be written off. Impossible. I am a dignified citizen of the four heavens. How can I? You don't have the right to refuse. If you refuse, after I kill you, I will get close to that little girl without anyone knowing. You know the consequences. Ning Fan could tell that this stone warrior was not afraid of death. Once a puppet like this was created, it would only live for one purpose, to protect Bei Xiaoman. If he couldn't make the puppet submit to him, then he wouldn't be able to control it. He wouldn't do anything for her either. This kind of puppet that possessed intelligence, if its intelligence was erased, it would be completely useless. However, if he were to forcefully kill them, it would be difficult for them to submit. They weren't afraid of death because they were created from inanimate objects. This so-called life was also a divine ability of spells, and there was no such thing as life and death. The only way to make this puppet submit to him was to threaten Bei Xiaoman. As for the words he said to hurt Bei Xiaoman, it was just to scare Stone Warrior. Compared to seeking revenge with Bei Xiaoman, he was more than happy to have a soul formation cultivator to help him. With this stone warrior, he could move unhindered in the outer seas and plunder human cauldrons with ease. I'll give you 3 seconds to consider, I agree. But I have a request. Stone warrior readily agreed. He added immediately. I can help you kill your enemies, but I can't become your slave. My mistress will always be my mistress. Moreover, you have to make a great heart devil oath to help me take care of her safety and serve her. It's impossible for me to take care of her. As for the great heart devil oath, do you have the right to negotiate with me? There are 2 seconds left. Can't I? Then you have to become a foreign elder of the Lost World Palace. That way, you'll have to help the Lost World Palace if it's in trouble. I won't do anything that doesn't bring me benefits. There are benefits. Green Phoenix Flame. And the privilege of being a foreign elder. If you can please my mistress, she'll definitely bestow this flame to you. I don't want an empty promise. I'll find a way to get this flame myself. Let me remind you, there's still 1 second left. Stone Warrior's face was filled with anger. He was a dignified spirit severing realm cultivator, yet this nascent soul realm cultivator was so stubborn. However, he did not have the right to negotiate with Ning Fan on equal footing. Apart from finding out that this person was bold and reckless when he went crazy, had an unknown background and was unfathomable, the only other thing he found out was that this person seemed to be a utilitarian. If there are no benefits, he would be stubborn. But what if there are benefits? Stone Warrior was thinking about the conditions that could move Ning Fan's heart. Suddenly, his eyes lit up. If you promise to protect my mistress, I have a secret technique that can help you break through to the Jade Life Realm using the Silver Bone Body Refining Technique. If you promise to let me go, I can even offer you the secret technique of the Golden Body Realm after the Jade Life Realm. Secret technique? That's interesting. Ning Fan looked at Stone Warrior with surprise. Has this arrogant puppet finally become enlightened? He finally knows how to offer benefits. Jade Life Realm and Golden Body Realm. Jade Life Realm cultivators could fight against Divine Transformation Realm cultivators. Golden Body Realm cultivators could fight against Void Refinement Realm cultivators. Ning Fan was really tempted by Stone Warrior's secret technique. But asking him to protect Bei Xiaoman? Is this a joke? Is he stupid enough to let Stone Warrior go? Your conditions are not bad. I promise to become a foreign elder of the Lost World Palace and help Bei Xiaoman once when she's in trouble. However, I'm not her slave. It's impossible for me to follow her around. This is my bottom line. If you don't agree to it, this matter will end here. Stone Warrior gritted his teeth. He could not gain any advantage in front of Ning Fan at all. He had no choice but to agree. Deal. I will teach you the secret technique and help you without harming my mistress. However, you have to swear. Noisy. I don't have the habit of swearing an oath. Ning Fan frowned and pointed his finger at the giant. Immediately, the moon seal was activated. The giant trembled and its body involuntarily turned into a palm-sized stone puppet. Its spirituality was sealed and its eyes were dull like a magic treasure. I'll ask for the secret technique of the body refining technique from you next time. Someone is coming. It won't be a good thing if they find out that I've taken Stone Warrior away. Ning Fan's eyes flashed. He activated his primordial force and disappeared without a trace. At the next moment, the spatial seal was broken. Not long after, an anxious red-robed young lady hurriedly teleported towards him. Here, she stopped, because there was clearly the aura of Stone Soldier left behind. However, Stone Warrior wasn't here. Stone Warrior, where have you been? Zhou Ming provoked me but you didn't even help me. The frustration in her heart turned into blood-red killing intent that flickered in her beautiful eyes. However, before she lost her temper, she suppressed her killing intent and revealed a desolate gaze like an ordinary young lady. Stone Warrior, where have you been? Stone Warrior, you've lost. Also, that Zhou Ming is really shameless. I don't want to see him for the rest of my life. Grandpa Bing, you've lost it. She bit her lips. Her face was no longer red and her eyes were watery. She felt a little sad and wronged, just like an ordinary young lady. A spoiled, little princess. Chapter 200. 10 days later, South Desert City. This city was located in the desert South Desert, but this desert was not barren. In fact, it was formed by the thick earth spiritual energy. This place could be said to be a paradise for earth-type cultivators, but it was also a paradise for demonic cultivators. That was because this place was the Pill Cauldron Gate. As for the Pill Cauldron School, they sold human cauldrons. In the middle of the desert, there was a 1,000-mile oasis. Above the oasis, a stone city came into view. Many harmonious spirit realm and gold core realm experts rode on camels to attend the Pill Cauldron auction that was held once every 10 years. Only nascent soul realm cultivators could fly in the sky. Ning Fan did not keep a high profile. Instead, he let Bing Ling and Yu Ling's temperament do as they pleased. Each of the camels was dozens of feet long and was comparable to a golden core demonic beast. When they ran in the desert, their speed was close to that of a peak stage golden core cultivator. This beast was arrogant by nature. Each beast could carry dozens of cultivators, but only cultivators in the late golden core stage or above could ride on it. Dozens of cultivators including Ning Fan were sitting in their own pavilions. The one driving the camel was an early gold core expert. Beside him was a late gold core old man in purple robe. This elder was wearing a Taoist robe, but he had a mustache and small eyes. It was clear that he was not a good person. His face was pale, as if he had been hollowed out by wine and women. He was probably a lecher. He was also a passenger, but because of his terrifying cultivation of the late golden core realm, he was in charge of overseeing the camels and subduing the arrogant demonic beasts. This suppression was not hard labor, but it could provide him with a full range of travel expenses. He was naturally very happy. From time to time, his bean-like eyes would glance at Ning Fan's direction, revealing a covetous look. Of course, it was impossible for them to be drooling over Ning Fan's. They were drooling over the two mid-gold core realm women beside Ning Fan's. The old man wasn't the only one who was drooling. Almost all of the passengers on the camels were staring at the two women's bodies with cold smiles on their faces. It was very normal. Ning Fan concealed his cultivation base and only emitted an intermediate gold core chi in order to keep a low profile. He would accompany the two girls to relax and see the world. Since the old monsters present had come for the Pill Cauldron auction, they were naturally after the cauldron furnaces. Buy a furnace. It was too expensive. It would be better if he could snatch Ning Fan's cauldrons. Two intermediate gold core female cultivators were worth a lot of money. However, no one dared to openly display hostility towards Ning Fan. The purple-robed old man was the only one on the entire camel. Only he, a late golden core cultivator, could take down 3 middle golden core cultivators by himself. That pretty boy is actually a good cauldron for the evil woman. I can capture him and sell him off. As for those 2 women, this old man will first pluck them and enjoy the taste. After they become useless, I'll sell them to the pill cauldron gate. With this old man's cultivation base and the talisman puppet's secret art of my purple talisman gate, it won't be difficult for me to fight against 3 of them at the same time. The only problem was that the Penlai Immortal Island was ordered by the Lost World Palace to not engage in private fights. Of course, there were exceptions. When we arrive at the Hill of Death and the Pill Cauldron Gate's sphere of influence, we will be able to kill as we please. This old man will have to act quickly so that the other late Gold Core realm experts won't be able to snatch it away from me. His small eyes fiercely scraped the 2 women's bodies again. He retracted his sword and sneered. He stood proudly on the head of the camel with his hands clasped behind his back. There was a reason for his arrogance. The Gold Core realm cultivator who was holding the camel was as steady as a mountain. He clicked his tongue in amazement and flattered the purple-robed old man beside him. As expected of an expert from the 10 sections. Elder Yao is here to subdue this camel and make it so obedient. This is the first time I've seen someone like this. The experts of the Purple Charm sect truly live up to their reputation. I'm afraid Elder Yao is a first-rate late Gold Core realm expert in the sect, am I right? You flatter me, fellow Taoist. There are many late Gold Core realm experts in my Purple Yuan Immortal Island. I'm just one of the upper echelons. Although the purple-robed old man addressed him as fellow Taoist, he did not even bother to look at him. This early Gold Core realm cultivator was not worthy of his attention. He could kill him with a wave of his hand. However, the purple-robed old man enjoyed the man's flattery very much. Although he was an outer sect elder of the Purple Charm sect, he could be considered as one of the top 3 late Gold Core realm experts in the sect. The camel in front of him looked dejected and dejected. It did not have its usual arrogance. It was most likely because of him. If one were to take a closer look, they would notice that this camel was not only not arrogant but also afraid. The purple-robed old man was really proud of himself for being able to intimidate the camel which was known for its arrogance. Even a peak Gold Core realm cultivator or an ordinary nascent soul realm cultivator would be intimidated by him. He could silence the camel but he could not make this arrogant demonic beast submit to him or fear him. The fact that I'm able to intimidate this camel is enough to prove that my strength is extraordinary. Perhaps, my strength is even stronger than some peak Gold Core realm cultivators. He smiled proudly. However, this purple-robed old man was wrong. This camel cultivated the body of a beast. Its larynx had yet to transform. Thus, it could not speak. If it could speak, it would certainly tell the old man. It would tell the camel that it was not afraid of this old man but the harmless Ning Fan who was leisurely drinking at the back. The demon race's ability to sense danger had always been stronger than humans. The camel could feel a trace of evil qi that could crush everything from Ning Fan's body. That evil qi made the most prideful camel tremble in fear. Master, they want to harm me. The Bing and Yu sisters transmitted their voices to each other. Is that so? Ning Fan was still drinking his wine calmly. Little brother, you seem to be very carefree. Compared to the past, you are much more mature now. However, someone wants to kill you. After Luo Yu subdued the stone warrior, she claimed that she would only sleep for 29 days a month. She would keep 1 day awake to monitor Ning Fan. She wanted him to quickly pluck women to improve his cultivation method and reach the 3rd level as soon as possible. Is that so? Ning Fan smiled faintly. He acted as if he was not aware of it at all. However, he already knew who was coveting the 2 ladies and who wanted to kill him. The oasis in front of him could be seen from afar. However, there was a towering ancient tree that was 1,000 zhang tall outside the oasis. Thousands of heads of cultivators were hanging on the withered branches of the tree. Each of them was at the gold core realm or above. Dozens of them were even at the nascent soul realm. This place was called the Hill of Death. Killing in this place was not a crime. At this place, the purple-robed old man turned around with 3 purple talismans in his hand. His eyes locked onto Ning Fan. His killing intent had already been triggered. "Brat, I'll give you a choice. Hand over your women to me and I'll let you go for the sake of your elders." He shook the purple talismans. Immediately, a vast magical force was released from the 3 Zhang talismans. Immediately, the 3 purple talismans turned into 3 rays of extinguishing purple flames and soared in the old man's palm. TSK TSK TSK. It's actually the high-grade intermediate spiritual talisman of the Purple Yuan sect, the Purple Fire Talisman. One of these talismans contains the power to kill an intermediate gold core realm cultivator. With these 3 talismans in hand, I'm afraid that this man and 2 women are in danger. However, this old monster Yao is really cunning. He used the purple talismans to threaten them and used words to deceive them. If that young man believes old monster Yao's words, he'll let you go for the sake of his elders. It's all nonsense. Who cares about whose face in the cultivation grave? The group of gold core realm cultivators revealed a cold smile. Each of them had their own magical treasures in their hands. Once there was an opportunity, they would dare to attack either Ning Fan or old monster Yao. The purpose of the Death Burial Mound's existence was to allow cultivators to kill each other and snatch their treasures. In the end, they would gather enough immortal jade to spend at Pill Cauldron Gate. From their point of view, Ning Fan and the others were naturally no match for old monster Yao. However, after old monster Yao killed them, even if he wasn't injured, his magical force would still be depleted. At that time, old monster Yao might be injured. The gold core realm cultivators had their own thoughts. Only the camel suddenly trembled in fear. It was very afraid, because an ice-cold killing intent was brewing. Ning Fan was going to kill them. This tremble caused the pavilions on the back to tremble. A voice suddenly resounded, causing the camel to stop moving in fear. "If you move, you'll die." The killing intent in this sentence came from Ning Fan's mouth. The aura of this sentence belonged to a nascent soul realm cultivator. The purple-robed old man who was grinning hideously suddenly froze. A sense of impending death crazily formed in his heart. All the gold core realm cultivators who harbored malicious intentions were shocked and they realized that the skinny young man was actually a nascent soul realm cultivator. Not good. Their hearts screamed at the same time. However, they only had the time to realize that something was amiss. No one could escape. Death Burial Mound, I can kill people and seize their treasures. I like it. With a sweep of his sword sense, dozens of gold core realm cultivators were crushed by the black light. Even the camel's owner was killed. Only the camel endured its fear and didn't dare to tremble. The 2 girls were slightly surprised. They weren't surprised that their master killed people. Instead, they were surprised that their master was not afraid of offending the old monsters of the sects by starting a massacre here. For example, if they killed the purple-robed old man, the sects would probably hunt them down. "Master, that purple-robed old man seems to be an expert from the 10 great sects." The 10 great sects all have spirit-severing realm cultivators. Spirit-severing realm was a very distant term. It was a term that the 2 girls didn't even dare to think about in the past. However, when Ning Fan showed them the stone warrior puppet, they were already shocked once. Now, however, they were calm. "Also, what should we do with this camel? The owner is dead." Yu Ling's bright eyes flashed and asked. "I'll give it to you. Both of you sit on the camel." "Bing Ling, this is the jade slip for spirit-severing realm attacks. I'll give it to the 2 of you to protect yourselves. We'll also stay here to kill people and seize their treasures." Firstly, he could accumulate immortal jades. Secondly, it could deter the descendants of the Danding school. In a stone room in the Pill Cauldron Gate, the old ancestor of the Pill Cauldron Gate, Xiao Wanluo, who had been in seclusion for a long time, was working hard to break through to the peak cultivation realm. It seems like the auction is about to begin. It's about time for me to come out from seclusion. Xiao Wanluo thought to himself. Just as he was about to come out from his seclusion, the sect master of the Pill Cauldron sect hurried towards him with a panic-stricken face. Forefather, this is bad. Someone is in the Hill of Death, killing people and robbing their treasures. Hee, it's just a small matter. They can kill whatever they want. After accumulating enough immortal jades, they will still end up in our hands. No, it's different this time. It's an early nascent soul realm old monster blocking the road and killing people. We've already killed thousands of golden cores. Nascent soul. It's easy for him to kill golden core realm cultivators with his cultivation. However, isn't he being too reckless? Killing people in public will offend most of the forces in the outer endless sea. I don't know if it's a gold core realm cultivator. This person has already killed 11 nascent soul realm cultivators. Among them, 3 of them are late stage. What? Could this person be a great cultivator? What's his name? Zhou Ming. Chapter 201. The Hill of Death was a bloody desert, and the sand was stained with the smell of blood. The divine sense of a late-stage nascent soul cultivator could cover an area of 2,000 miles. The area within 2,000 miles of the Hill of Death was like a black dot in the sky. Anyone who intruded into the range of the divine sense would immediately be attacked by the sword sense. Early-stage gold core cultivators would die as soon as they entered. Above the middle stage, one could block the sword sense. However, once one entered a certain type, a young black shadow instantly appeared, waving his hand to destroy the person who entered the sword sense. It was as if these 2,000 miles of black sky were his territory, and anyone who entered would die. Everyone who came to Pill Cauldron Gate came to buy human cauldrons. Naturally, none of them were good people. Most of them had harmed countless low-level female cultivators, and even mortal women. After cultivating in the outer endless sea for so many years, they'd experienced many great storms, but it was the first time they'd seen such a terrifying scene. The Hill of Death, killing and robbing. Every cultivator who set foot in this place was prepared to either kill or be killed. However, when they saw a demon kill thousands of golden core realm cultivators and 11 nascent soul realm cultivators, they were terrified. Rows of camels stopped 2,000 miles away from the Hill of Death. No one dared to enter unless that person left the Hill of Death. The fiendish cultivators only knew that the person who killed them and stole their treasures was called Zhou Ming. They knew nothing else. I am Zhou Ming, and I'm here to kill people. If you don't want to die, scram. This voice seemed to have a magical power as it reverberated in the clear sky. It was clearly a voice that had merged with the sky. It was even more powerful than the voice of a late nascent soul cultivator. The expressions of the old monsters who were about to enter the Pill Cauldron School in exchange for a few beauties changed drastically. This man is at the peak of the nascent soul stage, a grand cultivator. No wonder he dared to guard the Hill of Death and killed thousands of golden core cultivators and 11 nascent soul cultivators all by himself. Great cultivator Zhou Ming. I've never heard of such a ferocious devil. Could it be a devil from the internal endless sea? I heard that there's a Zhou clan in the internal endless sea. Could he be a member of that Zhou clan? TSK, TSK, TSK. I don't know, but this person has killed so many experts. I'm afraid his net worth is huge. I'm afraid his entire body of immortal jades is worth more than 100 million. If we kill this person, we can split the 100 million immortal jades equally. But this person must not be provoked. All the old monsters had serious expressions on their faces. Even the nascent soul realm old monsters didn't dare to casually enter the realm. There were even a few nascent realm cultivators. Looking at the black shadow in the sky, everyone's scalp went numb. One of the nascent soul realm cultivators frowned deeply. Greed and fear could be seen in his eyes. Before him, there were already 11 nascent soul realm cultivators who were greedy and entered the shadow in an attempt to snatch Zhou Ming's over 100 million celestial jades. However, in the end, all of them died in the shadow. Over 100 million immortal jades. Only divine transformation realm cultivators would be able to possess such a huge amount of immortal jade. Even a divine transformation realm cultivator would be slightly tempted. His name was Luo Fei, a grand cultivator and a guest elder of Purple Talisman sect. It was hard for him not to be tempted. He had heard that an outer gold core realm elder of his sect was killed by the Shadow Devil. However, a mere gold core realm elder was not worth the risk for a grand cultivator like him. But what if it was more than 100 million immortal jades? He didn't know what Zhou Ming would do after killing 11 nascent soul cultivators. Is there a nascent soul Dao fruit? Over 100 million immortal jades, a nascent soul Dao fruit. Zhou Ming was audacious enough to risk offending the outer endless sea. Going on a killing spree. Does he think he is a divine transformation realm cultivator? If he was a semi-god realm cultivator, no matter how many people he killed in the outer endless sea, the 10 sects would only warn him and not blame him. However, if he wasn't a soul formation cultivator, he wouldn't be able to travel the endless sea with 100 million celestial jades. It was no different from courting death. Humph. Even if you're the devil of the internal sea and the descendant of one of the 7 venerables of the internal sea, Venerable Zhou, I'm not afraid of your background when you commit crimes in the outer sea. The Rain Palace and the internal endless sea had an agreement that the divine transformation realm experts of the internal endless sea were not allowed to leave the sea region. Humph. After killing you and seizing over 100 million immortal jades, even if the great cultivators of the Zhou clan hunt me down, I won't have anything to fear. I can hide on a random floating island and buy pills and cauldrons with such a large amount of immortal jade. I have a chance to reach the soul formation stage in this life. Greed sprouted in his eyes. Immediately, it sprouted and grew, turning into a devilish will that occupied his heart. He caught a glimpse of Zhou Ming's shadow as it swept past. This person was clearly a cultivator at the beginning of the primordial era. However, his combat prowess was shocking, comparable to a grand cultivator. He was comparable to a grand cultivator, but Jiang Yi was a true grand cultivator. Humph. I'm going to take your immortal jade. With a flash of light, he entered the black shadow in an instant. With a claw of his hand, the black shadows of the sword sense immediately began to crumble. Zhou Ming. How dare you kill an elder of my Purple Talisman sect? Do you know your crime? Crime? What crime? Is it a crime to kill someone in the outer sea? A gray light flashed and a figure in white robes and black cloak appeared. It was Ning Fan. Luo Fei scanned Ning Fan with his spirit sense. After confirming that Ning Fan was just at the early nascent soul realm, he was 90% confident that he could kill Ning Fan. An early nascent soul realm cultivator who acted recklessly and recklessly killed people. The 10 sects had killed countless people like him. Luo Fei had cultivated the devil path for 1,400 years. He had taken countless lives in order to reach this stage. Even though he was confident that he could kill Ning Fan's eyes were too calm. I'm a grand cultivator. Why isn't he afraid? Purple Talisman sect. Interesting. Since I killed a gold core realm elder of the Purple Talisman sect, this sect will definitely pursue this matter. However, I believe that if I kill a grand cultivator elder of this sect will not dare to pursue this matter. Even the early divine transformation realm old ancestor of this sect will be extremely wary of me. Stone warrior, what do you say? That's right. In this endless outer sea, killing a gold core realm cultivator is a crime while killing a nascent soul realm cultivator is a hero. If you can kill a grand cultivator, you must have the strength to injure a divine transformation realm cultivator. No divine transformation realm cultivator would be willing to provoke such an enemy. His voice was shaky as if it was the voice of a puppet. The voice came from the air beside Ning Fan. However, no matter how Luo Fei scanned the area with his spirit sense, he could not sense that there was someone hiding there. Immediately, a hint of fear rose in his heart. Could it be that the person who could hide from my senses is a hidden divine transformation realm cultivator? This Zhou Ming has a divine transformation realm cultivator following him. No wonder he dared to kill so recklessly. With a divine transformation realm cultivator following him, who would dare to provoke him in the outer sea? This is the 12th nascent soul realm cultivator. It should be enough. Stone warrior, kill him and take his nascent soul. Leave his corpse intact. Ning Fan said indifferently. Yes. A mountain giant appeared beside Ning Fan. It had a bluestone body and the left side of its face was branded with a black crescent moon. Then, a miserable shriek of a grand cultivator could be heard. It made all the cultivators outside the shadow turn pale with fright. What? What? There's no mistaking that shriek. It's the guest elder of the Purple Talisman sect who had just entered the shadow. Luo Fei. Could it be that he has also been killed? Luo Fei is a grand cultivator. How could he be dead? Who wants to go in and have a look? Who would be foolish enough to go in and have a look? Each of the devil cultivators was like a puppet. They were stunned and did not dare to enter the shadow at all. Many cultivators who originally wanted to buy cauldrons to break through their bottlenecks gulped and left hurriedly. The Pill Cauldron Gate. They were not willing to participate in the auction anymore. The desolate hill of death that was only 2,000 li was like a wall that separated them from the Pill Cauldron Gate. In the past Pill Cauldron auctions, every time it was held, nearly 10,000 devil cultivators would participate in it. However, this time, half of the participants were killed by Ning Fan. 30% of them escaped. Only 20% remained. In the desolate hill of death, Ning Fan retracted his sword sense and dispersed the shadow. Stone Warrior turned into a stone puppet and was held in his hand. 12 nascent soul realm cultivators. That's enough. It should be enough for me to break through to the second realm of the Silver Bone realm. Blood-pricking devil marks. This secret technique that can increase one's body refining realm is indeed extraordinary. As for these corpses and corpse chi of thousands of gold core realm cultivators, they are good materials for me to devour flesh and blood and cultivate the corpse devil record. Killing people and robbing their treasures not only gives me immortal jade, but it can also increase my body refining realm, demon cultivation and devil cultivation. This kind of thing can only be done in a special place like the Endless Sea. If I were in the 800 cultivation countries, I would probably be hunted down by the rain world and be killed by the void fragmentation realm. Ning Fan turned the ground into a sea of corpses. For the time being, he kept it in his cauldron ring. With a leap, he returned to the camel and rode it towards the oasis in the distance with Bingyu and Bingyu. He entered the Pill Cauldron Gate. From Stone Warrior, he found out the secret technique to break through to the next realm. That secret technique required a large amount of secret blood to draw devil marks on the body. The secret blood must be the gold core of a gold core cultivator, the nascent soul of a nascent soul cultivator, or the primordial spirit of a soul formation cultivator. They were refined into drops of secret blood. Originally, he had been worrying about where he could get a large number of Jindan and Yuanying cultivators to refine his secret blood. Fortunately, there was such a wonderful place outside Pill Cauldron Gate where he could kill people and seize their treasures. 3711 Gold Core Realm Cultivators and 12 Nascent Soul Realm Cultivators. The number of Gold Core Realm Cultivators and Nascent Soul Realm Cultivators was already sufficient. Moreover, he had more than 100 million immortal jades. Even Ning Fan himself was too lazy to count them. Most likely, he already had around 130 million immortal jades with him. There were countless medicinal pills, magic treasures, and cultivation techniques. He had cut down 27 golden core Dao fruits. Unfortunately, he didn't have any nascent soul Dao fruits. In just one day, he had nearly annihilated the cultivators of an entire mid-grade cultivation country. If the king of Jin heard about this, would he be terrified? As for offending the forces of the outer endless sea, there was nothing to be afraid of. Which force in the external endless sea could hurt him now? If there is really a divine transformation realm cultivator chasing after Ning Fan would be more than happy to kill him. Stone warrior, well done. Jiang Yi was not stingy with his praise. Humph. Remember what you promised me. The stone puppet harumphed coldly. Which devil mark should I inscribe with the secret blood? I only know 3 types of ancient devil marks. The Great Sun Devil Mark and the Dark Ice Devil Mark are both good choices. They are general rank devil marks. However, your corpse vein's devil art is of the earth attribute. You can only choose the second best. Inscribe the Stone Warrior Devil Mark, which is similar to mine. General rank? Soldier rank? The image of Demon General Karp appeared in front of Ning Fan's eyes. The demon race and devil race are different from cultivators. They rule their race with the military. Nascent Soul Realm cultivators are the soldiers, Divine Transformation Realm cultivators are the generals, Void Refinement Realm cultivators are the commanders. Void Fragmentation Realm cultivators are the sovereigns. I don't know how to inscribe devil marks that are too high rank. The reason I created them is just to protect my mistress. Is that so? I'll have to trouble you to guide me when I inscribe the devil marks. Humph. As long as you keep your promise, I will help you inscribe the devil marks. However, I have to remind you that it's very painful. Painful? I like that. I was just worried that I couldn't eat it. Ning Fan's body was filled with evil qi. He had destroyed a country in a day and killed too many people. It had harmed the harmony of the world. However, his heart was not shaken at all. If his cultivation base was lower, he might be killed by others and his treasures would be snatched away. He wouldn't even have the chance to harm the harmony of the world. This was the endless sea. It was the cultivator's grave. All cultivators who willingly entered the grave had the resolve to kill or be killed. If you don't dare to enter the grave, just get lost. In the stone chamber of the Pill Cauldron Gate, Xiao Wanluo's face was ashen. He had indeed marked out a piece of land in his territory and claimed that he could kill people and seize their treasures. However, those who would really kill people and seize their treasures were mostly Gold Core Realm cultivators. At most, they were just nascent Soul Realm cultivators. Usually, those who killed people were those who did not have enough money and were willing to take the risk. Zhou Ming, on the other hand, had killed as many people as the mountains and the sea. It was not normal at all. It was not just for money. After all, no matter how crazy a cultivator was, he would not kill so many people just for money and offend the entire external endless sea. This person might have the strength of a peak nascent soul realm cultivator and he could dominate the external endless sea. He might also be killed by some divine transformation realm cultivator of the external endless sea. However, Xiao Wanluo was not concerned about any of this. At this moment, there was only one bitter thought in his heart. It's over. It's over. The Pill Cauldron Gate is probably in trouble this time. He had stirred up trouble, big trouble. That Zhou Ming killed people happily, but the place where he killed people was the Pill Cauldron Gate's promised killing zone. If the forces of the outer endless sea failed to eliminate Zhou Ming to vent their anger, they would most likely seek trouble with Xiao Wanluo. 11 nascent soul cultivators, 3 of whom were at the late stage. How big of a mess was this? It would be fine if all the dead nascent soul realm cultivators were rogue cultivators. However, 2 of the late-stage nascent soul realm cultivators were the leaders of major forces. Although they were not as powerful as the 10 sects, they were not people the Pill Cauldron Gate could afford to offend. These forces would definitely come to find him. Xiao Wanluo, to vent their anger. What should we do? Tell me, what should we do? Xiao Wanluo roared at the sovereign. The dignified sovereign of the early nascent soul realm could only lower his head and endure the scolding. At this moment, another early-stage nascent soul cultivator, the deputy sect leader, rushed over in panic. Bad news. Another nascent soul realm cultivator is dead. What? That Zhou Ming had yet to make his move. You're even using my Danding School's name to kill people. Speak. Which sex expert did he kill? Is it early stage or mid stage? This. The vice sect master revealed a look of fear. Don't stammer. Could it be a late nascent soul cultivator? Xiao Wanluo took a deep breath. Zhou Ming had already killed 4 late nascent soul cultivators. No, this time, it's the Purple Charm sect. What? Purple Charm Gate. One of the 10 sects, the Purple Charm sect. He killed a late-stage expert from the Purple Charm sect. Xiao Wanluo's heart thumped. It's over. If he killed the late nascent soul cultivators of the Purple Talisman sect in the killing zone that he had promised, no matter what Zhou Ming did, he would be offending the spirit-severing realm old ancestor of the Purple Talisman sect. No, it's not. Vice sect leader shook his head. It's nothing. Could it be that the nascent late-stage cultivator wasn't from the Purple Charm sect? Xiao Wanluo's eyes flickered with hope. No, it's someone from the Purple Talisman sect. However, it's not the Empress. It's a Grand Cultivator. It's Assassin in Blood Luo Fei. What? Even the Grand Cultivator was killed. A loud explosion took place in Xiao Wanluo's mind like a thunderclap. This time, it's over. This time, Zhou Ming's name would surely shake the entire outer endless sea. Not even a spirit-severing realm old monster would dare to deal with him. However, the Pill Cauldron Gate would have to bear the consequences for Zhou Ming's murder. Since he didn't dare to vent his anger on Zhou Ming, he would only vent it on the Pill Cauldron Gate. He, Xiao Wanluo, might not be able to escape death. Zhou Ming killed people for their treasures. Why should I die for him? Damned heavens, what kind of joke are you playing with me? PFFF. Xiao Wanluo spurted out a mouthful of blood. It was really an unlucky year to be unlucky. Chapter 202. This must be Danding School's most desolate auction. In the Stone City, in the Golden Pagoda, the auction house, which could accommodate tens of thousands of cultivators, only held 2,000 people today. The empty atmosphere was a little awkward. The host of the auction was a silver-robed auctioneer. His surname was Ling, and people called him Old Ling. A middle-stage nascent soul realm cultivator could become a senior statesman of a country, but in the Endless Sea, it was very normal for someone with such a cultivation to become an auctioneer. In every auction, the Pill Cauldron Gate would auction hundreds of harmonious spirit and gold core cauldrons. Of course, the ones that would really attract the attention of the crowd were the nascent soul cauldrons. A nascent soul cauldron could tempt even soul formation fiends, let alone a nascent soul cultivator. Without a qualified auctioneer, the situation would not be peaceful. First level harmonious spirit, second level gold core, third level nascent soul. On the 3rd floor, Ning Fan and the 2 ladies were sitting in the 7th pavilion. They were looking down at the auction stage through the bead curtain and formation light. As he had killed so many people, Zhou Ming's name would soon resound in the Endless Sea. Fortunately, no one had ever seen his appearance. Among the millions of cultivators in the Endless Sea, there were more than 1,000 people named Zhou Ming. Thus, no one knew that he was a ruthless person who had slaughtered great cultivators. Anyone who entered the range of his sword perception and looked at his appearance, had already died on the hill of death. He did not intentionally hide his identity, nor did he intentionally expose himself. Perhaps there might be people who could guess that he was Zhou Ming based on some clues, but so what? He was invincible in the outer Endless Sea. Master, I heard that the cauldrons of the Pill Cauldron sect are all extraordinarily beautiful. Even the Harmonious Spirit and Gold Core cauldrons have many beauties. Master has obtained such a huge amount of immortal jades. Do you want to buy all of them and put them into your palace, just like the emperors in the mortal world who have 3,000 concubines? Yu Ling was serving tea to him while admonishing him. No need. A nascent soul cauldron will do. Even if I pluck them, I won't be able to increase my magic power by even half a unit. After I form my nascent soul, no matter if I pluck or dual cultivate with a golden core female cultivator, I won't be able to increase my magic power by half a unit. The effects were greatly reduced. If that's the case, it's better to save some yang essence and spend it on female nascent soul cultivators. The yin-yang transformation was based on the Tao of the union between a man and a woman. Of course, it used dual cultivation as the Tao and harvesting as the technique. Naturally, it was impossible for cultivators to maintain their virginity. However, if a cultivator was overly lascivious and had 1,000 women in a day, his yang essence would be damaged and it would hinder his cultivation. As the saying goes, going too far is as bad as not going far enough. Then isn't it a waste for Master to dual cultivate with us sisters? That won't be the case. I'm very satisfied with your skills. Ning Fan said with a smile. The elder sister, Bing Ling, blushed. She recalled how she had lost her virginity in the restaurant 10 days ago. Memories came back to him. As for the younger sister, Bing Ling, she let out a soft groan, which was extremely charming. Then, Master, do you want to stay here with us sisters, for another moment? Today is not the time. Someone is watching. Ning Fan stopped smiling and his eyes turned cold. His black sword sense shook violently. Immediately. There were a total of 3 grand cultivators in the 3 rooms, and they let out muffled groans as they spat out a mouthful of blood. His eyes were filled with shock. It's him, it's really him. He was Zhou Ming. With the power of a single person, he had slaughtered countless demons. There were 100 rooms on the 3rd floor, but this time, there were only 70 nascent soul cultivators. Among these nascent soul cultivators, only 3 grand cultivators managed to recognize his identity after being injured by him. The 3 of them did not say anything. However, they were almost certain of one thing. Once Ning Fan takes a fancy to any human cauldron, the 3 of them would never bid against him even if they have to die. If he takes a fancy to their cauldron and calls out a price, the 3 of them would never compete against him anymore. They were not fools. A demon lord who appeared out of nowhere, Zhou Ming. This person did not hide his name. He was bold and arrogant. He was unstoppable. He could kill 12 nascent soul realm cultivators, 3 of whom were late nascent soul realm cultivators and 1 of them was a grand cultivator. Moreover, that grand cultivator was the guest elder of the Purple Charm sect, Luo Fei. Luo Fei was quite famous in the external Endless Sea. He was once a devil lord who had killed countless people. Even divine transformation realm experts would not easily provoke him. After joining the Purple Charm sect and becoming a guest elder, he became even more fearless with a divine transformation realm expert as his backer. Among the 3 grand cultivators, 1 of them was slightly weaker than Luo Fei, 1 was on par with him and the last one was slightly stronger than him. However, even those who were slightly stronger than Luo Fei would definitely not be able to defeat him within 100 moves. Even if they won, they would not be able to kill Luo Fei at all. Even if Luo Fei could not defeat him, could he not run away? If the physical body of a grand cultivator was destroyed, the speed of his nascent soul realm would increase by a small realm. Only divine transformation realm experts could catch him. The fact that this person could kill a grand cultivator and defeating a grand cultivator were 2 completely different concepts. This person had a trump card which was comparable to the full strength of a divine transformation realm expert. There were no fools among those who could cultivate to their current level in the Endless Sea. Luo Fei was not a fool either. He was just gambling with his life on Ning Fan's immortal jade. As for him, he lost the gamble. After shocking the three grand cultivators, Ning Fan retracted his cold gaze and remained silent. The Pill Cauldron Gate was just a sect which Empress Yuan was in charge of. The number of nascent soul realm human cauldrons it could nurture was limited. Other than the Pill Cauldron Gate, there were a few other forces in the external endless sea that had nascent soul realm human cauldrons for sale. Of course, there was also the Green Jade Immortal Island, which was a sect which only had female cultivators. As for the Green Jade Immortal sect, there should be a few nascent soul realm female cultivators including their sect master. In the eyes of the demonic path, a sect of female cultivators was a top-grade furnace. But for them to be able to coexist peacefully with the demonic cultivators in the outer endless sea was proof of this. It wasn't that there weren't any soul formation cultivators who had barged into the sect. It was just that the sect's foundation was definitely extraordinary, which was why the demons didn't dare to touch it. Robbing the Bai Yao sect with the help of the Stone Warriors was not a big possibility. Robbing a sect at the level of the 10 great sects was dangerous. If the Bai Yao sect had a second deity transformation cultivator, it would be a narrow escape. Putting all his chips on the stone weapon was not in line with his character. Unless he had the strength to fight against a spirit-severing expert, he would not go to the 10 sects to challenge them. At most, he would rob the elders of the 10 sections. There is still a huge gap between me and a spirit-severing realm expert. I can only fight for 3 breaths. Recalling the battle with Stone Warrior, Ning Fan became silent. If it wasn't for Luo Yu's help, Ning Fan would only be able to extract a trace of yin-yang power with his own strength. He would have to pay the price of sustaining serious injuries. Only by exchanging injuries for injuries would he be able to reach the divine transformation realm, the heaven sealing art and the morning art. Even Luo Yu had never heard of these 2 arts. It seemed like it was by chance that she obtained the secret art to control the puppet. Naturally, Luo Yu would pass this secret art to Ning Fan. With this secret art, Ning Fan could seize the control of a magical treasure puppet even if it was a spirit-severing realm puppet and kill it with a single thought. In addition, Luo Yu had given Ning Fan the oracular chant in the past. In addition to the Joss Flame Sword, Ning Fan owed her a lot of favors. There was only one way for him to repay her. Break through to the 3rd level of the yin-yang transformation as soon as possible and open the profound yin world. Cauldrons. Ning Fan needed a large number of cauldrons. After Old Ling let out a dry cough, the auction hall became silent and the auction began. I won't go into details about the rules of the auction. I'll just say one thing. Only late gold core realm and above cauldrons will be auctioned. Those below late gold core realm will be sold at a clear price. The starting price for harmonious spirit realm cauldrons will be 5,000 immortal jade. Early gold core realm cauldrons will be 50,000 immortal jade. Alright, the auction will begin. First, the cauldrons below late gold core realm will be auctioned. There will be a total of 1079 cauldrons below late gold core realm. Those who need them can go up to the stage and pay for them. As soon as Old Ling's voice fell, the entire hall was in an uproar. In the past, the Pill Cauldron Gate would never sell harmonious spirit cauldrons. After all, it wouldn't take many years for a harmonious spirit realm female cultivator to advance to the gold core realm using the secret art in Penglai Island, which was rich in spirit chi. Once they advanced, the price would immediately increase by 10 times. But this time, the Pill Cauldron Gate even took out their harmonious spirit cauldron to sell, as if they wanted to empty all their belongings and run away. Why did he run away? A sensible person would think. Those who understood the reason could not help but sneer. That crazy devil Zhou Ming had killed 3,000 gold core realm cultivators and 12 nascent soul realm cultivators all by himself. He had offended most of the forces in the external endless sea. Perhaps the old ancestor of the Pill Cauldron Gate would pack his belongings and leave the external endless sea to return to Xiu country or go to the internal endless sea to avoid the calamity, but this was also good. Many evil cultivators who couldn't afford a gold core realm cauldron could just take away a harmonious spirit realm female cultivator and pluck her. After Old Ling's voice, many delicate girls wearing the same thin robe faintly revealed their breasts and underwear. They were all charming, and each of them had a delicate appearance. The jade platform was very big and could accommodate 1,000 people. There were 1,000 beautiful and charming girls. There were mature and charming girls, young girls who had just experienced their first awakening of love, and even little girls to satisfy the needs of cultivators of all levels. In front of the girls, there was a name tag. Not only did it state their name, cultivation base, and bone age, it also stated their serial number, price, and whether they had a special cauldron physique. Whichever one you like, you could go to the auction stage and pay for it. Hiss. Although this number 3 is only a harmonious spirit realm cultivator, her appearance is truly a peerless fairy. I think if I buy this one back, I don't need to be a cauldron. I can directly become a wife and make love to her every day. How delightful. I like number 11. Hee, this small foot, this leg, yes, number 105 is not bad. Early gold core realm, faking body. It will be helpful for this old man's cultivation, that number 755 is actually a famous artifact that only appears once in 1,000 years. TSK. Although plucking is useless, it is a winding path that leads to a secluded place and makes one wish they were immortal. Waves of discussions, comments, teasing, and obscene remarks could be heard. Numerous naked gazes and divine senses swept past the bodies of the women on the stage one after another. Those gazes were like the wolves that Ning Fan often saw in the Ningbai mountain when he was young. However, these 1,000 female cauldrons were indeed professional cauldrons that were raised since they were young. Some of them blushed, some were unhappy, some felt wronged, and some felt uncomfortable, but none of them uttered a word of complaint or reprimanded the devil cultivators who peeped at them. They would never resist the master who bought them. It was instilled in them since they were young. Ning Fan closed his eyes slightly. These girls below the late gold core realm were useless to him. He wasn't going to buy them. Of course, he didn't have the mood to pity these girls who were about to fall into the evil claws of a strange devil cultivator. Many of them might be plucked until not a single drop was left and die a violent death. The lucky ones might be able to stay as concubines and live on. However, what awaited them would most probably be the humiliation under the bed every day. They were unfortunate, but was there any lack of misfortune in this world? Without strength, there would be no dignity. This was the reality of the cultivation world. Yu Ling remained silent obediently. Her gaze fell on the girls with slight reluctance, as if she was recalling the time she spent in the extreme Yin Gate. As for Bing Ling, her usual calmness was nowhere to be seen. At this moment, she seemed to be recalling the humiliation she suffered when she was young. There was once a drunk harmonious spirit realm elder who entered her room with the intention of. At that time, she couldn't resist. Fortunately, there was a passing attendant disciple who stopped the elder, otherwise, today, the girls on the stage were about to fall into the same fate. Many devil cultivators were already smirking evilly. They paid the money and were ready to embrace the beauties in their arms. Master, can you buy all of them? Bing Ling suddenly stood up and knelt in front of Ning Fan. Her eyes were unprecedentedly serious. Someone once said that a person who tolerated all kinds of grievances in daily life would be terrifyingly stubborn once he became tough. Bing Ling knelt in front of Ning Fan, causing him to frown. He wasn't a kind person. Why would he save these girls? Although he plucked one of them, it would at least increase his magical power by a little bit. At the very least, he could increase his magic power by a little bit, but wouldn't plucking women take time? 1,000 women would be plucked once each. How long would it take? Sister, why do you have to do this? Yu Ling was a little afraid. Ning Fan was very powerful now. Even though she admired him, her status as his sister was still not high enough. It was not to the extent where she could influence Ning Fan's decision. He was no longer the pure and innocent young man in the past. He was now a 300 years old true devil. It was not easy for Bing Ling to obtain Ning Fan's favor. If she angers Ning Fan because of this, wouldn't it be a mistake? Sister, have you forgotten how we lived a humiliating and careful life in the past? Bing Ling bit her lips. She was afraid of Ning Fan. Now that Ning Fan's evil aura had yet to dissipate, she was afraid just by standing beside him. Sister. Yu Ling gritted her teeth and her heart softened. She also got up and knelt down. Master, please forgive me for contradicting you. Are you sure you want to buy them? All of them will cost at least 30 million immortal jade. Ning Fan shook his head, but he was not angry. 30 million. Bing Ling's face turned pale. Even if you raze Yu country to the ground, you won't be able to gather so many immortal jade. She did not know how much money Ning Fan had. However, even if he had so much money, it was not worth it to spend it on useless people. Silly girl. Get up. Go and buy all of them for me. Yes, I understand. Wait. Master, what did you say? Are you really willing to save them? Bing Ling's beautiful eyes suddenly flashed and she looked energetic. I'm willing. Otherwise, you will be kneeling again. I'm crying again. My head hurts. However, you have to listen carefully. I'm not saving them. I'm buying them. They are my human cauldrons and I can pluck them freely. Do you understand? Ning Fan smiled and wiped away Bing Ling's tears. I understand. It's their fortune to be loved by Master. Bing Ling nodded her head vigorously. Fortune. Little girl, you really think highly of me. Alright, let's stop joking. Let's get down to business. Ning Fan smiled and said seriously. Anyway, there are plenty of places in the cauldron ring. Besides, all of these women are excellent human cauldrons. It's just that their cultivation base is still low. It's not a loss to buy them. That's why I'm willing to buy them. Moreover, if all of them break through to the nascent soul realm, it's more than enough for me to break through to the spirit-severing realm after plucking them. Of course, that's not realistic. I'm afraid it'll take many years for them to break through to the nascent soul realm. I can buy them, but I want to give you a task. Supervise the cultivation of these women in the cauldron ring. If I get injured in the future, it'll be useful for me to pluck them. Are you willing? I'm willing. I'll definitely train a group of female devil guards for Master. Master, please bestow a name to this group of devil guards. Devil guards? Bestow a name? Ning Fan burst into laughter and rubbed Bing Ling's hair. He had no intention to train these women into combat power. There was no need to bestow a name to them. He had not even thought of a name for his lightning whip. Was there a need for a name? Go quickly. Take these immortal jades and buy all of these women for me. Order them to be placed in the back room. You can go there to collect them after everything is over. If you're late, the dirty hands of these devil cultivators will dirty my human cauldron. Yes. Bing Ling didn't have time to think. She took the storage pouch and left the room in a hurry. Her soft and delicate words caused the entire place to fall silent. There are 1,079 human cauldrons here. My master wants all of them. The whole place was dead silent. Those devil cultivators who had already paid the money and were ready to collect the women showed an ugly expression. What kind of person was this? How could he be so overbearing and thirsty? How could he possibly have 1,000 women to serve him? However, when they saw that the person who spoke was from the 3rd floor, all the harmonious spirit realm and gold core realm devils shut their mouths. A nascent soul realm old monster was interested in these women. Why would a nascent soul realm old monster want these female cultivators who were only mid-gold core realm? For what? For what? However, no one dared to question the authority of a nascent soul realm old monster. Even though the person who spoke was a mid-gold core realm woman, she came from the third floor. Naturally, she was the concubine of a nascent soul realm old monster. There was a storage pouch in her hand. There must be tens of millions of immortal jades in it. What kind of nascent soul realm old monster was able to take out tens of millions of immortal jades to buy 1,000 human cauldrons? Could he be a late nascent soul realm cultivator? When they thought of this possibility, all the harmonious spirit realm and gold core realm devil cultivators immediately shut their mouths. They were dissatisfied and resentful, but no one dared to show their emotions on their faces. If you don't have the strength, don't ever fight with a nascent soul realm cultivator. Snatch women. Everyone was cursing in their hearts. The person who bought all the human cauldrons must be a late nascent soul realm cultivator who had been cultivating for 1,000 years. He was so thirsty that he wanted 1,000 women at once. He must have gone mad from hunger and thirst. Anyone who dared to snatch women from him would die. He. Fellow Taoist is indeed a man of character. I admire you. The ones who praised him were the 3 grand cultivators in the heaven grade room. Moreover, the words of these grand cultivators were filled with a hint of flattery towards the person who bought the human cauldrons. Who exactly is this person? Could it be the person who turned 2,000 li of desert into blood? Zhou Ming. Hiss. When they thought of this possibility, all the devil cultivators' hearts started to race. As for the white-clothed woman who walked towards them indifferently, Bing Ling, no one dared to take a second glance at her. Zhou Ming. Zhou Ming. Zhou Ming. Who dared to steal this person's woman? Who dared to look at her? There were even a few devil cultivators who were unable to endure their thirst and had just touched the cauldron. After guessing Ning Fan's identity, they immediately gave up on the immortal jade and cupped their fists towards Ning Fan's room. Then, they hurriedly left the banquet. As soon as they left the Pill Cauldron Gate, they did not even care about the flight ban of Peng Lai and flew away from Peng Lai with all their might. It was a kind of power, a kind of demonic power that made everyone unable to resist. This power was even more terrifying than the legendary power of the soul formation stage. They had never seen a spirit-severing cultivator before, but Zhou Ming. All the cultivators who came to the Pill Cauldron Gate and passed by the Hill of Death would be able to see the sea of blood in the desert that stretched for 2,000 miles. That day, 3,000 Gold Core Realm cultivators and 12 Nascent Soul Realm cultivators were buried. The outer endless sea was going to be in chaos, and the world was going to change. This was because Zhou Ming had appeared in the outer endless sea. Chapter 203. The scene was so silent that one could hear a pin drop. Bing Ling paid the money and brought the girls to rest in the back room before returning. Senior Ling coughed a few times and continued with the auction. However, compared to before, very few of the demons present were agitated. The harmonious spirit cultivators and some of the gold core realm cultivators sighed and left with cupped fists. The next item to be auctioned was a female cultivator above the late stage of gold core realm. A female cultivator like this would be the ruler of a low-ranked cultivation country. Their prices would be sky-high, and normal cultivators wouldn't be able to participate. Each and every one of the nascent soul realm cultivators were finally rubbing their palms. They were the main characters in the upcoming auction. However, the moment the old monsters thought of Zhou Ming, who was unfathomable and had thousands of women every day, their scalps went numb as they prayed in their hearts. I hope that Zhou Ming won't be interested in these female cultivators and won't fight with them anymore. However, they also understood that the possibility of this happening was very small. How could a lecherous devil who didn't even let go of a harmonious spirit realm or a 7 or 8-year-old girl would miss a cauldron that was above the late gold core realm? Many old monsters even guessed that Zhou Ming was killing so many people because he wanted to gather money to buy a woman. Over 100 million immortal jades were all used on women. This Zhou Ming's cultivation might not be the highest in the outer endless sea, but his lecherous heart. I'm afraid even a spirit-severing realm cultivator would not be able to match him. This cauldron has a bone age of 200 years. She is at the late gold core realm. She has the maiden life young physique. The starting price is 100,000 immortal jade. As soon as Elder Ling finished his sentence, it was like a drop of water falling into boiling oil, causing everyone to fight for it. 110,000. I'll pay 120,000. 140,000, 170,000. 200,000, 300,000. 400,000. The price reached 400,000 and couldn't go any higher. The dust seemed to have settled. A middle-stage nascent soul old monster flew out from the earth room, ready to pay the money on the auction stage. However, at this moment, Bing Ling, who was dressed in white, quietly walked out of the room and spoke indifferently. The middle-stage nascent soul realm old monster's feet were nailed to the sky, and his face alternated between green and red. My master offered 410,000 immortal jade to buy this cauldron. After that, all the late and peak gold core stage cauldrons will be purchased at twice the starting price. Fellow Taoists, please don't compete with him. His words caused an uproar. What? What? This person bought 1,000 human cauldrons and still had money left to buy human cauldrons at the late and peak Jindan stage. You have to know that there are dozens of human cauldrons in this batch. Buying all of them at double the price would cost tens of millions of immortal jades. It can't be wrong. This person is that person. However, that Qing Huazi is truly disgraced this time. He was about to hand over the money, but his cauldron was snatched away. He must be dissatisfied. This Qing Huazi is also the pavilion master of the North Pavilion of the Wind Sword Pavilion, one of the 10 sections. He is usually a proud and arrogant person. I wonder if he will continue to increase the price and compete with that person. I'm afraid Qing Huazi wouldn't dare. Even though it's only a guess, but if that person is really Zhou Ming, then fighting with him would be akin to playing with one's life. One by one, the old monsters sighed incessantly. Qing Huazi's gaze descended fiercely onto the 7th room, and he gritted his teeth before snorting coldly before returning to his room. He did not compete with Ning Fan for the human cauldron. Almost all the nascent soul realm cultivators remained silent, as if they were silently agreeing. Ning Fan was asking for an exorbitant price. He alone bought all the late gold core realm and peak gold core realm human cauldrons. In other words, all the human cauldrons below the nascent soul realm in the auction of the Pill Cauldron Gate had fallen into his pocket. Dissatisfied. Many of the old monsters were dissatisfied, but when they thought of the name, Zhou Ming, even if it was just a guess, no one was willing to offend that person. On the contrary, the 3 peak nascent soul realm cultivators unexpectedly flattered Ning Fan again. Ha! Fellow Taoist is truly elegant. You are able to throw away millions of immortal jades for a beauty without batting an eyelid. I admire you, admire my ass, I'm just flattering him, but it's very unusual that this person could make the peak nascent soul realm cultivators flatter him twice. Qing Huazi was also concerned about this. That was why he suppressed his anger and the ridicule of the crowd and returned to his room. Otherwise, given his bad temper, he would have drawn his sword and fought Ning Fan to the death. Old Ling let out a hollow laugh. It was unprecedented for a person to monopolize the auction. He did not dare to make a decision on his own, so he secretly transmitted his voice to old ancestor Xiao Wanluo to seek his opinion. A moment later, as if he had received the order, he chuckled and announced. Old ancestor Xiao has agreed to sell 87 late gold core realm and peak gold core realm human cauldrons to fellow Taoist for a total of 57 million immortal jades. Fellow Taoist can pay the money now, N. Bing Air, go and pay. An unusually young voice was heard from the room. It was cold and indifferent. That kind of coldness was definitely not an act. It was the coldness that was common in the Blood Sea. The voice did not use any magical power. But as soon as it was heard, the hearts of all the cultivators in the room thumped and their bodies trembled. Such a strong evil qi. This person is indeed Zhou Ming. Bing Ling paid the money and led the 87 delicate women to the back of the room. She sighed along the way. Each of these 87 women would be an old ancestor in Yu country. But in this place, their fates would be decided by their master and they would become his human cauldrons. Master is getting more and more powerful, all of you must listen to my master. Bing Ling said indifferently. Even though she was an intermediate gold core realm cultivator, none of the female cultivators dared to ignore her words. Yes. One by one, the women spoke respectfully. They could tell that the person who bought them, Mo Xiao, was an extremely terrifying existence. He could make all the nascent soul realm cultivators in the room fall silent. He could make the pill cauldron gate change the rules of the auction just for one person. After a long time, Bing Ling returned and the auction continued. The atmosphere was extremely tense and awkward. Next up was the auction of the nascent soul realm human cauldrons. There were only 2 nascent soul realm human cauldrons. They were not sure if this Zhou Ming would still fight for them. If he were to fight for them, would they still fight for them? Would they fight for them with their lives? Hopefully, he would stop while he was ahead. Hopefully, this must be the most concise auction that Old Ling had ever hosted in his life. Before the auction of the nascent soul realm human cauldrons, almost everything was decided by that mysterious man. He swallowed his saliva and tried his best to calm himself down. He laughed and said, "Next up is the nascent soul realm human cauldrons that all of you have been waiting for. These 2 women are the first batch of female cultivators in the pill cauldron gate to break through the nascent soul realm in the past 50 years. Moreover, they have the best body constitution for human cauldrons. The starting price is 3 million. As soon as Old Ling finished his words, the whole place became strangely quiet. Not a single person was bidding. Wait. They were waiting. Waiting for Ning Fan to no longer want these human cauldrons. Only then did they dare to bid for them. 301 million. Finally, an unusually young voice was heard. All of the old experts revealed an extremely disappointed expression. This lecherous devil. Zhou Ming. He still reached out to Ning Fan. It was just a 10,000 immortal jade increment, but this 10,000 immortal jade. None of the old experts dared to cross the line. This time, even the 3 peak nascent soul realm experts could not laugh or flatter Ning Fan anymore. All of them were sighing in despair. They did not dare to compete with Ning Fan for the human cauldrons. But they really wanted it. They really wanted it. They had been waiting for 50 years for this auction. This. Old Ling smiled bitterly. The nascent soul realm human cauldron was only sold for 301 million immortal jade. This was the hammer that would decide the winner. Should he knock it or not? He did not dare to make a decision. Even Xiao Wanluo, who was hiding in the dark, had a bitter expression on his face. Big brother Zhou Ming. Please do me a favor. You can be domineering and kill people, but you should at least leave enough money for me to escape. You can't cheat me like this. You only added 10,000 immortal jade for a nascent soul realm human cauldron. 10,000 immortal jade. It's useless. After deducting the cultivation cost, it meant that he did not earn a single copper coin from this nascent soul realm human cauldron. Silence. But the voice of a young man could be heard in the silence. It was the first time. I heard that your sect is auctioning a nascent soul realm Dao fruit. I want it for 501 million immortal jade. The eyes of the 2 nascent soul cultivators on the stage lit up at the same time. They were the buyer of the 2 women. He was a domineering young devil lord who made the group of devils silent. He was really admirable. However, the other male devils did not have the same mood as the 2 women. Puff. Xiao Wanluo spurted out a mouthful of blood and his face was gray. Even the old experts in the nascent soul realm pavilion were in an uproar. Nascent Soul Realm Dao Fruit. This lecherous devil, Zhou Ming, wanted to buy the Dao fruit as well. Qing Huazi could not hold it anymore. He drew his sword and was about to fight Ning Fan. The Dao fruit that Ning Fan had chosen without even showing his face was something that the spirit-severing realm old ancestor of his sect wanted personally. He himself had come to buy a human cauldron. If the human cauldron didn't want it, he would accept it. However, the Dao fruit was something the patriarch wanted. The patriarch was a soul formation cultivator, so Zhou Ming had to give him face. However, just as he unsheathed his sword and before he could rush out of the side room, a group of uninvited guests arrived at the Pill Cauldron School. A strange change suddenly occurred. A dense crowd of people surrounded the Pill Cauldron School. 17 black-robed men, with a sudden sound, rushed into the auction house. All 17 of them were nascent soul cultivators. 11 early stage, 4 mid-stage, 1 late stage and 1 grand cultivator. Immediately, someone recognized that this group of people were from the Xiang family of the Outer Endless Sea. Then, someone recalled that the younger brother of the Xiang clan's ancestor, a certain nascent soul realm old monster, had died in Zhou Ming's hands. He was one of the 12 nascent soul realm cultivators. Were these people here to seek revenge on Zhou Ming? No, it doesn't look like it. This group of people all stared at Senior Ling. They didn't know that Zhou Ming was here. Perhaps, they thought that Zhou Ming had run away after killing someone and robbing the Dao fruit. Perhaps, they came to Penglai at night to punish the Pill Cauldron School. However, this punishment was probably just an excuse. The ancestor of the Xiang clan, the grand cultivator Xiang Liao, wanted to use this excuse to destroy the Pill Cauldron School. He wanted to ruin the auction by taking away the cauldron and the Dao fruit. Ling Giku. Ask Xiao Wanluo to come out. You are not qualified. My younger brother died in the killing zone of your Pill Cauldron School. It's really hateful. Your Pill Cauldron School must take responsibility for this. Compensation. Old ancestor Xiang, please calm down. My old ancestor. Senior Ling smiled apologetically. Get lost. Xiang Liao harumphed coldly. His voice seemed to have merged with the sky. With just a harumph, Senior Ling was forced to retreat more than 10 steps before he could stabilize his body. His injuries were aggravated, causing him to spurt out a mouthful of blood. This old man will say it again. Ling Giku. You are not qualified. You are just a member of a small sect from a low-grade cultivation country. If it wasn't for Xiao Wanluo, this old man would have already skinned you alive. Xiao Wanluo, come out. Xiang Liao would never have thought that Zhou Ming was here. As for Xiao Wanluo, he was currently coughing out blood and fainting due to anger. How could he have the mood to deal with Xiang Liao? Xiao Wanluo did not come out. The sect master and vice sect master of the Pill Cauldron School came out with apologetic smiles. However, Xiang Liao's expression turned gloomy. He finally lost his patience. Xiao Wanluo. This old man asked you to come out. Didn't you hear me? Good. Very good. My friends, I'm sorry for interrupting your auction. Today, my Xiang clan will trample the Pill Cauldron School to the ground. Devil Sound Technique, Wu Zhang's Wrath. Xiang Liao had white hair and a stocky build. He pounded on his chest and opened his eyes wide. He looked like a human emperor who was at the end of his rope and was enraged. His anger was enhanced by the divine ability that merged with the sky. After that, the roar turned into a sound wave-type magical technique and swept towards the sect master and vice sect master. Nascent Realm High-Grade Magical Technique, Devil Sound Technique, Wu Zhang's Wrath. The angry roar trembled and turned into a solid black halo. It blasted on the sect master and vice sect master. The 2 early nascent soul realm experts were sent flying with just a single blow. Severe injuries. The sound wave swept towards Old Ling. However, at this moment, a white-clothed and black-cloaked figure walked out of the room lightly. With a flash of gray light, the figure instantly appeared in front of Old Ling and said indifferently, "Break." With a single word, "Clear sky thunder." Under the reverberation of the thunder, the black halo formed by the devil's sound technique was shattered layer by layer. When the cracks reached Xiang Liao, they turned into thunder and exploded. Xiang Liao's heart trembled violently. He let out a muffled groan and took a few steps back before he could stabilize his body. His facial expression changed drastically. His devil sound technique was the hardest to defend against. However, it was easily shattered by this skinny young man in front of him with just a single word. That word was not made with any special technique. It was just a sound that merged with the sky and the sky merged with the thunder. However, that sound was incomparable to his devil sound technique. "Brat! Who are you? How dare you interfere in the matter between me and the Pill Cauldron School? Do you know what kind of status my Xiang clan has in the external endless sea? A mere early nascent soul realm cultivator dares to interfere in the matter of my Xiang clan? Who do you think you are? You're dead meat." Xiang Liao's eyes turned gloomy. He wanted to kill Old Ling to establish his prestige. "Speak. What's your name? If you don't have any background that I'm afraid of, then, you can die now." "Is that so?" Ning Fan revealed a mocking expression. The reason why he saved Xiang Liao had nothing to do with righteousness or giving face to the Pill Cauldron School. As for Xiang Liao, he was nothing in his eyes. "My name is Zhou Ming." "Zhou Ming. Zhou Ming. Zhou Ming." The two words were like a clap of thunder, causing Xiang Liao's divine sense to tremble violently, causing his previously arrogant expression to turn into one of terror. This person was actually Zhou Ming. Could he be the crazy devil Zhou Ming who killed my younger brother and slaughtered peak realm cultivators? I can't be wrong. This person's evil qi was so strong and his blood had not dried yet. His means were outstanding and his eyes were cold. But his cultivation base was early nascent soul realm. How could this be? "Thank you." Old Ling cupped his fists at the young man. He had never thought that this young man whom he had never met before would save him. "You're welcome. I'm revered weeping. Ling Giku of Sinister Sparrow Sect." Chapter 204. Xiang Liao's face was unusually gloomy as he stared at the young man who had quietly appeared like a ghost. His gloominess contained a trace of well-hidden fear. "Zhou Ming. This person is the murderer who killed my brother. The devil who can even kill a grand cultivator. Why was this person here?" However, this person was indeed an early nascent soul cultivator. Could he really kill a peak nascent soul cultivator? He didn't hide his evil aura at all. The moment he appeared, all the nascent soul cultivators of the Xiang family felt their hearts tremble. Even Xiang Liao was secretly shocked. He had killed countless people in his life, but he was only on par with Zhou Ming. Apprehension, solemnity, but after thinking for a while, Xiang Liao sneered. So what if this person could really kill Luo Fei? Jiang Yi also possessed the strength to kill Luo Fei. No one knew that Xiang Liao had reached the bottleneck of the divine transformation realm. No one knew that this time, he had used the excuse of destroying the sect to seize the cauldron and the Dao fruit in preparation for breaking through to the soul formation stage. Once he broke through to the divine transformation realm, there would be 10 divine transformation realm cultivators from the 10 sects, 3 rogue cultivators and Xiang Liao. The Xiang clan would become a top force and dominate the outer endless sea. At least on this point, Zhou Ming couldn't compare to Xiang Liao. He, Xiang Liao, was a grand cultivator who was about to reach the soul formation stage. Zhou Ming. Are you sure you want to stand up for Danding School? You killed my brother, and I haven't even settled the score with you yet, but you actually dare to stand up for the Pill Cauldron School? Ha, ridiculous. Do you think my Xiang family is weak and easy to bully? One had to know that if one did not know what was good for them, they would be courting death in the outer endless seas. If you know what's good for you, then scram. Xiang Liao no longer put Ning Fan in his eyes. You alone aren't enough. Ning Fan sneered. Courting death. Xiang Liao was enraged. He took a large stride forward, his beard and hair were like silver, his gaze was imposing, and the origin energy around him was in a frenzy, making him seem like a god. At the instant his aura spread out, it caused the atmosphere in the auction hall to become oppressive and suffocating. It was as if they were being suppressed by the power of the world. Anyone with a bit of insight would have their expressions change drastically. Xiang Liao's aura had already reached the realm of aura in the heart. In other words, Xiang Liao had reached the bottleneck of the soul formation stage. Rather than calling him a grand cultivator, it would be more accurate to call him a half-step divine transformation realm cultivator. He strode forward with arrogant steps. It was as if he was stepping on everyone's Tao heart, causing a loud explosion. At the same time, the other 16 nascent soul realm cultivators of the Xiang clan took out all of their magic treasures and attacked Ning Fan. After their old ancestors' killing intent was triggered, they tried to launch a joint attack to kill Ning Fan. Xiang Liao, in particular, opened his mouth and spat out 9 blood-red cauldrons, which soared into the sky. Each cauldron had the might of a superior supreme-grade cauldron. Its suppressive might was like the collapse of Mount Tai, unparalleled. All the golden core cultivators present vomited blood after being shaken by the giant cauldron. His complexion changed greatly. He was already injured. Just the shockwaves of the battle caused his chi and blood to be thrown into chaos. His injuries were not light, and he immediately left. How could he still have the mood to participate in the auction? Zhou Ming was indeed powerful, but Xiang Liao seemed to be even more powerful than Zhou Ming. If the 9 cauldrons were to fall down, 1,000 miles of oasis would be destroyed. It would be directly flattened. Only the nascent soul cultivators dared to continue staying, but all of them had Dharma treasures to protect themselves. They were also weighing the battle for the position of Zhou Xiang and guessing the outcome. In their opinion, Zhou Ming would definitely lose. After all, Xiang Liao was already a half-step spirit severing realm expert. His magic power was probably at least 5,000 units, which was definitely not something an ordinary grand cultivator could compare to. The origin of the 9 cauldrons was even more mysterious. However, it would be difficult for Xiang Liao to kill Zhou Ming. Zhou Ming was not Xiang Liao's match, so he should be able to run away. The best outcome would be Zhou Ming risking his life and injuring the Xiang clan, but he himself would be severely injured. At that time, the 70 nascent soul realm cultivators present would be able to reap the benefits without doing anything. They were anticipating Zhou Ming's defeat. However, the result was out of their expectations in just a few moments, shattering their thoughts of taking advantage of the situation. At the moment when the cultivators of the Xiang clan made their move, Ning Fan also moved. He took a step forward and teleported 9 steps like a shadow. Each of his steps felt like he was stepping on the great Tao of heaven and earth, causing the oasis within 1,000 miles to tremble. When he took the 9th step, a sword of great momentum that was as powerful as the clouds shook violently. The sword chi wreaked havoc and shattered Xiang Liao's half-step spirit severing realm aura force. The so-called half-step spirit severing realm aura force was not worth mentioning in his eyes. The 11 early nascent soul realm cultivators of the Xiang clan were caught off guard. In just one move, they were all severely injured by the sword of great momentum. They coughed out blood and fell to the ground. As for the 4 mid-nascent soul realm cultivators and 1 late nascent soul realm cultivators, even though they were not severely injured, they were barely able to block the sword force with their techniques. Under their combined efforts, they were barely able to protect themselves. However, all of them were in a sorry state. Their besieging Ning Fan was also forced to stop. Each of the old monsters of the Xiang clan who were usually arrogant were shocked. As for Xiang Liao, his eyes were filled with astonishment. He was a half-step spirit-severing realm cultivator and he could only comprehend the momentum of heaven and earth. It was absolutely impossible for him to turn his momentum into a sword. He did not expect that Zhou Ming could actually form a sword with 9 steps. He had only seen such a technique in the hands of a spirit-severing realm cultivator. His eyes were filled with jealousy and hatred. He was jealous of the fact that Ning Fan was able to display a spirit-severing realm technique even though he was just an early nascent soul realm cultivator. This jealousy and hatred could not escape Ning Fan's detection. Cold light flashed in his eyes. The lightning star moved and a trace of blood lightning flashed in Xiang Liao's eyes like the heavenly might. Xiang Liao felt pain in his eyes and the attack of the 9 cauldrons stopped for a moment. After dispersing the lightning, Ning Fan was already holding a long whip in his hand. The blood lightning whip was in his hand. It was as if what he was holding was not a long whip but a lightning bolt that filled the sky. It was as if he was no longer Ning Fan but the Lord of Lightning Punishment. The whip was as fast as lightning and it landed on the 9 cauldrons. Clear sky thunder. The 9 cauldrons were as heavy as a mountain. However, the lightning whip carried the heavenly might. It was the blood lightning of the heavenly tribulation. So what if it was a treasure of the 9 cauldrons? This treasure was an imitation of the 9 cauldrons, a supreme immortal treasure. However, in Ning Fan's eyes, the refinement of this treasure was full of loopholes. In his immortal emperor's eyes, even though the grade of the 9 cauldrons was high, there were still a lot of flaws. It was not difficult for him to break them. Weak, too weak. He blindly pursued the grade of the magic treasure and recklessly added extra spiritual ores into the 9 cauldrons. It was really a joke. Break for me. 1 whip produced lightning. 9 whips broke the cauldrons. In a split second, 9 whips landed on the 9 cauldrons with a thunderous sound. The power of the whip stopped the falling momentum of the 9 cauldrons and pulled them back to the sky. The 9 whips accurately landed on the flaws of the 9 cauldrons. After the 9 whips passed, countless cracks appeared on the 9 cauldrons. The spirituality of the 9 cauldrons was greatly reduced. In an instant, they exploded. The 9 cauldrons were broken. Xiang Liao's face was filled with shock. The 9 high-grade magical treasures, the 9 cauldrons, were easily broken by the whip of the young man in front of him. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. His long whip was only a mid-grade magical treasure. It was not a peak-grade magical treasure. How could it have such power? There was no time to think about it. Something that Xiang Liao did not expect had happened. When the 9 cauldrons were broken, the 9 blood-red lightning bolts seemed to be possessed by evil spirits. They appeared out of nowhere from Xiang Liao's dantian and immediately landed on his nascent soul with a loud bang. In an instant, Xiang Liao's body was surrounded by cold sweat. Chills ran down his spine and his hair stood on end. His nascent soul was carefully protected by the nascent soul protective armor. However, the armor could only block one of the blood-red lightning bolts before it was destroyed. The remaining 8 bolts continued to strike on his nascent soul. The nascent soul's face was the same as Xiang Liao's. It immediately revealed a terrified expression. What kind of lightning is this? Even a peak Jade Xian spiritual armor could not block it. Yes. This is a secret technique to attack the nascent soul. This is the unique lightning technique of the Zhou clan. You are indeed a member of the Zhou clan. Damn it. Damn it. My nascent soul is half a step away from becoming a true god. Even the lightning of the Zhou clan is not possible. Ah. His nascent soul started to turn illusory. It had merged with the power of the nascent soul and was on the verge of shattering. The formless nascent soul had a defense that was 100 times stronger than other nascent soul cultivators. This was the secret lightning technique of the Zhou clan's nascent soul. He was not afraid of attacking his nascent soul. However, he did not expect the blood-red lightning to strike him. A single blood-red lightning had caused his nascent soul to tremble. It was seriously injured and he coughed out a mouthful of golden nascent soul blood. His chi was greatly weakened. Xiang Liao hurriedly retreated and used the momentum to block the blood-red lightning. However, before he could stabilize himself, the second blood-red lightning struck him. Every time the blood-red lightning struck his nascent soul, he would take a few steps back and his injuries would worsen. After the eighth lightning, his face was as pale as a sheet of paper. He coughed out blood non-stop. He was seriously injured. He was shocked. This blood-red lightning whip was even more powerful and brutal than the rumored secret technique of the Zhou clan to attack the nascent soul. What kind of lightning is that? It's not a magical lightning. It's like a lightning that was forcefully snatched from the heavenly tribulation. Heavenly tribulation. When Xiang Liao thought of these two words, he seemed to have understood something and took a deep breath. He finally understood. The reason why Zhou Ming's lightning whip was so powerful was because it was refined from the lightning of the heavenly tribulation. Ordinary cultivators would be extremely cautious when they went through the heavenly tribulation. They would either hide it from the heavenly tribulation or resist it according to the heavenly tribulation. However, Zhou Ming went through the heavenly tribulation with brute force and used the lightning as a sacrifice. A devil cultivator. A true devil cultivator that only existed in the ancient times. He was a cultivator of the true devil Tao who defied the heavens to cultivate. At this moment, Xiang Liao no longer had any arrogance left. In just a moment, he had already regarded Ning Fan as his greatest enemy and he would never be able to defeat him. In front of Ning Fan, all of his pride became worthless. Extracting the heavenly tribulation and controlling the lightning punishment. This man is not someone I can afford to offend. Let's attack together. He ordered in a slightly panicked manner. He wanted his subordinates to surround Ning Fan while he took the opportunity to retreat. However, the 16 nascent soul realm cultivators of the Xiang clan stood still like wooden puppets. They ignored his order. Freeze! Ning Fan raised his finger and pointed at them. A gray light flashed on the tip of his finger and ripples spread out. It was as if countless lines of Tao laws had been born, freezing all the nascent soul realm cultivators of the Xiang clan. To Xiang Liao's horror, he felt as if he was bound by countless gray lines that were hard to be seen by the naked eye. His body was also frozen by Ning Fan. Even if he exerted all of his magic power to break free, he would need at least one breath to break free from this technique. If he wanted to break free immediately, he would have to injure himself. While everyone was frozen, Ning Fan changed his whip into a sword and slashed the separation slash, forming a circle in front of him. The circle was like the will of the heavens. With a smooth stroke, the sword aura suddenly took shape. A mysterious force flashed on the tip of the separation slash. At the same time, all the cultivators including Xiang Liao felt a sharp pain in their hearts and they were crushed. This was the fourth sword, the heart-drawing sword. As their hearts were crushed, a mysterious sword light pierced through their hearts and pierced through their bodies. It carried the might of a peak nascent realm sword technique. 11 early nascent soul realm cultivators and 4 middle nascent soul realm cultivators of the Xiang clan were crushed into pieces. They couldn't resist it and exploded into blood mist. Even their nascent souls died. That late nascent soul realm cultivator managed to escape from the sword light by sacrificing his own body. However, when Ning Fan threw the separation slash, the starlight sword shadow was like a maggot attached to a bone. In an instant, it pierced through the nascent soul realm cultivator's nascent soul realm cultivator. The sword shadow flew back and was caught by the nascent soul realm cultivator. 15 dead and 1 captured. Xiang Liao bit the tip of his tongue and broke the body-fixing technique at the cost of hurting himself. He survived the attack of the heart-drawing sword. A nascent soul realm cultivator could still survive even without a heart. A nascent soul realm cultivator's heart was still full of vigor even if it was severely injured. However, there wasn't a trace of relief on his face. It was full of shock and fear. His white hair was dyed with blood and he looked as miserable as a stray dog. His eyes were wide open. He was as frightened as a panicking snake. Dead. All of them were dead. The experts of the Xiang clan that he brought with him were all dead in less than half a breath. One face-to-face encounter. He killed 16 nascent soul realm cultivators of the Xiang clan and severely injured himself. This Zhou Ming's techniques were unfathomable. The lightning whip that could crush treasures and break nascent souls. The heart-drawing sword technique. This man's techniques were strange and merciless. Below the spirit-severing realm. Who could be his match? If I don't escape now, I won't have the chance anymore. Go. Teleport. Xiang Liao made up his mind. He suddenly cast out a ray of cold light and pierced it towards Ning Fan. Then, he immediately teleported away. He knew that Zhou Ming was definitely not a match for him. However, he was conceited. Even a spirit-severing realm cultivator wouldn't be able to kill him, let alone Zhou Ming. At this moment, each of the nascent soul realm old monsters in the auction house were terrified. Xiang Liao, whom they had placed their expectations on, was severely injured by Ning Fan in just one face-to-face encounter. He wasn't a match for Ning Fan at all. Moreover, 15 of the 16 nascent soul realm cultivators of the Xiang clan were killed and one was captured alive. Zhou Ming. This was the mad devil Zhou Ming. When he killed people and snatched their treasures in the Hill of Death. He was also as ruthless as him. Xiang Liao, who had always been extremely arrogant, was actually running away. Ning Fan tried to grab the cold light with his palm. However, the cold light penetrated through his palm and went into his body. It was silent but it turned into a thin needle and pierced the nascent soul in his dantian. Ning Fan's expression changed. This treasure was very strange. Moreover, there seemed to be a trace of an extremely familiar aura on the cold light. It was as if he had smelled a woman's fragrance somewhere before. The needle was as thin as a hair. No magical power could stop it from piercing the nascent soul. Ning Fan didn't hesitate and activated the yin-yang locket. The locket shook violently and the magical treasure shone brightly. The yin-yang locket was the strongest defense of his nascent soul. Nothing could pierce through an immortal emperor's treasure. At this moment, he saw clearly that the needle that pierced his body was just an inch-long silver needle. An embroidery needle, what a powerful magical treasure. It was just a simple needle but it was already a high-grade magical treasure. If Ning Fan didn't have the yin-yang locket to protect his nascent soul would have been pierced by this needle. Even if he didn't die, he would still be injured. Moreover, there was a woman's fragrance on the embroidery needle. It was very familiar to Ning Fan. However, he couldn't remember where he saw it. Under the obstruction of this silver needle, Xiang Liao could only teleport away and disappeared without a trace. With Ning Fan's speed, it was unlikely that he could catch up with Ning Fan. Other than spirit-severing realm cultivators, who could catch up with a peak nascent soul realm cultivator? Ning Fan's eyes turned cold. He took out a stone puppet from his storage pouch and gently tossed it out without attracting anyone's attention. Stone warrior, bring him back with an intact corpse. Yes. Stone warrior's reply was only heard by Ning Fan. The people in the auction hall were still in a state of shock. Xiang Liao escaped. No one knew that Xiang Liao would be caught by Stone Warrior soon after he escaped. But even then, after an instant of a life and death battle, only the sound of gasping remained in the auction hall, and it was to the point of falling needle could be heard. Zhou Ming. This man is so powerful. Even if he didn't kill Xiang Liao, it was more than enough for him to travel unhindered in the external endless sea by injuring a half-step spirit-severing realm cultivator and killing 16 nascent souls. The three great cultivators in the heaven room couldn't calm down. They thought that they didn't underestimate this man's strength. However, it seemed that Zhou Ming's means were still beyond their expectations. Their magical power was far weaker than Xiang Liao's, and their means were also much weaker than Xiang Liao's. If they put themselves in Ning Fan's shoes and were in his shoes, only the slightly stronger great cultivator among the three of them would be able to harm himself and escape, like Xiang Liao. As for the other two, they would certainly die. Of course, if they knew that Ning Fan had already sent Stone Warrior to chase after Xiang Liao, they would be even more terrified. A spirit-severing realm puppet was something that they couldn't imagine. A cultivator who possessed a spirit-severing realm puppet was enough to make the 10 sects not dare to offend him. As for Qing Huazi, who almost drew his sword against Ning Fan for the sake of the nascent soul realm Dao fruit, his back was now drenched in cold sweat. Dangerous. It's too dangerous. If it wasn't for the group of scapegoats from the Xiang family, he wouldn't have been able to hold himself back and draw his sword to fight Ning Fan. However, he would probably end up like the group of nascent soul realm and mid-nascent soul realm cultivators who died tragically in Ning Fan's hands. Ling Giku was also secretly shocked. Just like what Ning Fan said, he was venerated Cry, one of the 4 venerated beings of Sinister Sparrow sect who had been missing for many years. When Ning Fan pointed out his identity, he secretly guessed that Ning Fan was probably from Yu country and had some relationship with the Sinister Sparrow sect. That was why he saved him. At first, he thought that his mid-nascent soul realm cultivation base was already a figure that only appeared once in 10,000 years in Yu country. However, after meeting Ning Fan, he realized that his insignificant cultivation base was nothing in front of Ning Fan. He had seen Ning Fan annihilating the Xiang family. He couldn't imagine that if Ning Fan returned to Yu country would probably become a high-grade cultivation country. However, he couldn't understand. Ning Fan's bone age was undoubtedly 340 years old. 300 years ago, he was still in Yu country. Yu country didn't seem to have a genius called Zhou Ming. Of course, it wasn't something that he could guess. Even if the Xiang family didn't come to cause trouble. The auction had also ended prematurely because of Ning Fan's arbitrary decision. After the Xiang family suffered countless casualties, no one dared to question Ning Fan's monopolization of the nascent soul realm cauldrons and the Dao fruit. The auction has ended. Those who have nothing to do with this, leave South Desert City immediately. My true self, Zhou Ming, will be in seclusion here. Any nascent soul realm cultivator who stays here will be regarded as the accomplices of the Xiang family. Kill them all. Black armor. Kill them all. At this moment, Ning Fan's sword sense swept across the area. Then, he released the black-armored refined corpses. At the same time, the Gold Core Realm and Harmonious Spirit Realm cultivators of the Xiang family who were guarding outside South Desert City were all killed by the shadow of his sword sense. Those who were lucky enough to survive were also eaten alive by the black-armored refined corpses. Hiss. This Zhou Ming also knows sword sense. He even has a nascent soul realm puppet. He wants to chase them away. It's better for us to leave as soon as possible. Each of the nascent soul realm old monsters. How would they dare to question Ning Fan's order? They might as well end the auction as well. Even though they didn't get any benefits and came here for nothing, they could still witness the battle of nascent soul realm cultivators. It was also an eye-opening experience. Each of the old monsters walked out of the room with smiles on their faces. They cupped their fists at Ning Fan and left. In the Endless Sea, the strong deserved respect. Especially after the 3 nascent soul realm cultivators left the room. They immediately put away the complicated expressions on their faces and exchanged some pleasantries with each other to establish a good karma. Only then did they leave. Fellow Taoist Zhou Ming, your means are really shocking. I'm Lu Wei, a rogue cultivator from the external Endless Sea. If you have time, why don't you come to my island and have a cup of spiritual tea? I'm impressed. I'm Xian Jizi. I'm now a foreign elder of the heaven-seeking sect, one of the 10 great sections. If fellow Taoist comes to the heaven-seeking immortal island, remember to inform me. I'll definitely welcome you with open arms. Hee hee. Fellow Taoist show is really something. I'm Lin Sushan, a member of the Lin family of the Internal Endless Sea. If fellow Taoist comes to the Internal Endless Sea in the future, you must pay me a visit. Ning Fan merely nodded his head in response to their polite greetings. Just like that, the entire South Desert City became empty after just 10 breaths. Not a single cultivator from the outside remained. Only the cultivators of the Pill Cauldron Gate and the countless corpses of the cultivators of the Xiang family were left. Ling Giku was full of questions. He wanted to talk to Ning Fan, but Ning Fan said in an unquestionable tone. Fellow Taoist Ling, quickly prepare a safe place for me. I'm a little tired and I want to have a good rest. This. Yes. Ling Giku did not dare to say anything else. He was pretending to rest, but forcing the silver needles out was his real intention. Although the silver and embroidery needles were temporarily suppressed by the yin-yang locket, if they were not forced out, they would still be a hidden danger. The means of a peak nascent soul realm cultivator was indeed not to be underestimated. If it wasn't for the stone warrior, even if he could defeat Xiang Liao, he definitely wouldn't be able to kill him. Without the protection of the yin-yang locket, he would have been seriously injured by Xiang Liao's silver needles. However, Ning Fan had the help of the stone warrior. Xiang Liao would never be able to escape. The reason why he did not use the stone warriors openly was because he did not want to attract the attention of the Lost World Palace. If the Lost World Palace were to know that the loss of the stone weapon was related to him, even though he was not afraid, it would inevitably cause a series of disturbances. He did not like trouble. Although there were some twists and turns in this trip to Desert South, the overall outcome was not bad. The cauldron was in hand, and the Dao fruit was in hand. Once the stone warrior returned, he would adjust his breathing to his peak state. Then, he would be able to use the newly purchased furnace to break through to the middle stage of the nascent soul realm. Mid-stage nascent soul realm. Who would have thought that I would be able to reach this stage so quickly? Ning Fan's eyes flashed, but he was slightly worried in his heart. His speed of cultivation seemed to be a little too fast, but his mental state could not keep up. It was still troublesome to improve his mental state. Mental state. It would be great if I have the Min Luo fruit. Min Luo fruit. I wonder how Bright Sparrow is doing. In Ing country, there was a little girl who was stepping on a 4th grade immortal cloud. She was carrying a furry silver ball in her arms and was followed by a few nascent soul realm rain beasts. When Ning Fan thought of her, she sneezed unconsciously. Ayaya. It must be Grandpa scolding me again. Humph. But don't worry. Grandpa can't leave the Dark Sparrow's grave. He can't catch up to me. He can't spank me. I have so many rain beasts to protect me. I will be fine. I want to go to the island in my dream. I want to know what Sitsang is and whether it tastes good. Why do I dream of her every day? Chapter 205. Xiao Wanluo had woken up. When he woke up and heard that the Xiang clan had come to challenge the sect, he panicked. When he heard that Zhou Ming had averted the calamity of the Xiang clan, he didn't even have time to heave a sigh of relief before he found out that Zhou Ming was currently resting in his ancestral stone chamber. Why is this malefic star hanging around and not leaving? Ling Giku, what's going on? Cough cough cough. I'm not too sure either, but it seems like I know this Zhou Ming. Wait, what did you say? Xiao Wanluo was stunned. Are you close with Zhou Ming? I'm not familiar with him. I should say that I don't even know him. If we weren't close, would he have destroyed the Xiang family for your sake? You don't have to be so courteous with me. Tell me, do you have the confidence to keep this person in my Pill Cauldron Gate as a nominal foreign elder? Xiao Wanluo's eyes flickered. Brother Ling, you must help me in this matter on account of the fact that I saved your life. If this Zhou Ming becomes a foreign elder of my Pill Cauldron Gate, my Pill Cauldron Gate won't have to run away anymore. There were mountains and rivers in the stone pass. It was like an empty valley in the desert. Amidst the singing of birds and the fragrance of flowers, the sisters Bing Ling and Yu Ling were training more than 1,100 cauldrons on the hillside. There were more than 10 harmonious spirit realm experts from the extreme Yin Gate and dozens of late and peak gold core experts. Everyone was planted with a mental seal. At the same time, the Pill Cauldron Gate's seal was erased. All of them were Ning Fan's human cauldrons. According to the legends, there was a yellow emperor in the immemorial era who had 3,000 women and ascended to the heavens. Today, there was a flower devil Ning Fan who had more than 1,000 women. From today onwards, we are the female guards of the Ning clan. Our surname is Ning. I am the female guard's first commander, Ning Bingling. She is the second commander, Ning Yueling. Do you understand? Yes. But why was his surname Ning? Isn't Master's surname Zhou? You will understand this in the future. By the way, we will be cultivating in Master's Cauldron Ring in the future. Sister Bing Ling, may I ask? What is the Cauldron Ring? It's a heavenly abode magic treasure that Master specially prepared for the cauldron. There's enough space, mountains, and water for us to cultivate. What? Master actually has a heavenly abode treasure. A group of female cauldrons immediately chattered with each other. Alright, there are some details that you will know in the future. First of all, we are Master's cauldrons. Naturally, we need to clarify our identities. First, I will tell you the rules of us female guards. First. Second, looking at Bing Ling and Bing Ling's methodical naming, rules and instructions, Ning Fan was surprised and chuckled. From today onwards, his massive harem would probably be open for business. He retracted his divine sense and sat on the couch in the palace. He looked up at the two women in light robes and smiled. Of these two women, one was wearing a yellow robe, the other a green robe. Both were outstanding beauties, graceful and charming. They were none other than the two nascent soul cauldrons. However, in the face of Ning Fan whose evil chi was still lingering, the two ladies' eyes were filled with admiration and nervousness. As human cauldrons, they could not decide their own fate. No matter who bought them, they would have to serve them. They had no choice but to accept that their cultivation had been harvested. Even if they were treated like livestock, they had to accept it. Some old monsters with special fetishes would call on their friends and attack them together, and they would have no choice but to accept it. Even if they were killed after being toyed with, they still had to admit it. This was fate. From a certain point of view, being bought by Ning Fan was considered a blessing for them. Not to mention Ning Fan's dignified appearance and terrifying strength. His attitude towards human cauldrons made the two ladies admire him. Bing and Yu sisters were human cauldrons. There was no doubt about it. The two ladies could tell that they were human cauldrons. However, as human cauldrons, they could move freely, retain their gold core realm cultivation base, live freely, be loved by their master, laugh and cry freely. Such a life made them envious. However, standing in front of Ning Fan, the two ladies could not help but feel a little nervous. They were nervous about Ning Fan's evil chi that had yet to dissipate and also worried about what would happen next. When the two ladies were summoned to the room, they naturally had to perform the deed. As women, even if they had learned many techniques since young, they would still feel a little nervous when it came to the crucial moment of their first time. Master, should we, now? The two ladies blushed and rubbed their jade-like legs, feeling a little scared. Next, I will use my cultivation method to pluck the two of you. Because of this, the two of you will fall to the nascent soul realm. However, you don't have to be nervous. After that, I won't kill the two of you. I will preserve your early gold core realm strength and impart you cultivation experience and pills. With your innate potential, it won't be difficult for you to form your nascent soul again. Yes. Thank you for not killing us, Master. What the two ladies were most worried about was to what extent Ning Fan would pluck them. After hearing that they could retain their gold core realm cultivation base, the two ladies immediately knelt on the ground and kowtowed to thank him. "Get up and sit beside me," Ning Fan smiled and gestured. The two ladies immediately blushed and sat beside Ning Fan. They even consciously leaned their bodies on Ning Fan's body. If the ladies were willing to do it and reached the peak during the process, the effect would be better. As for forcing oneself, it was the inferior method of the flower devil. Making the ladies unconscious and letting me do whatever I want was also not a wise move. According to the routine of the yin-yang transformation, before plucking the ladies, he needed to make them feel happy, relaxed, comfortable and gentle. The environment of the stone chamber was not bad. From the outside, it looked like 100-li-long mountain range. However, the inside was like a paradise with a tranquil environment. In the words of a lady, it was romantic. His palm caressed the lady's cheek. It was soft, smooth and slightly cold. Immediately, the lady's face became hot. However, she bit her lips and did not resist. His other hand held the lady's hand. The lady's body was slightly thinner, making her look petite. Her hand was soft. When Ning Fan held her hand, the lady immediately lowered her head and her delicate body trembled slightly. The two ladies were still very nervous. It was no wonder that anyone would be nervous during their first time. "Do you have your names?" Ning Fan held the two ladies in his arms and secretly circulated his bewitching technique. "No. I am number 947 and she is number 385. If Master is willing, please give us a name." The two ladies knew that there was a bewitching technique hidden in Ning Fan's words. However, they did not resist and endured it. Gradually, their breathing became rapid and their breasts rose and fell. The nervousness and fear they felt during their first time gradually faded. "You don't have names? I will give you 2 names. How about you? You are wearing a yellow shirt like an orange. I will call you Ning Tianer. As for you, you are wearing a green shirt like a duckweed. I will call you Ning Pinger. What do you think?" Ning Fan continued to strengthen his bewitching technique. His palms moved from the ladies' shoulders to their waists and abdomen. He secretly circulated the yin plucking finger and moved upwards along their flat abdomen. "Thank you, Master, for bestowing names." The two ladies' words began to tremble. They panted slightly and their eyes became misty. The yellow-robed Ning Tianer gradually softened under Ning Fan's evil claws and fell into Ning Fan's arms. As for the green-robed Ning Pinger, she was already weak and feeble. When she met Ning Fan's eyes that were as deep as the sea, she let out a soft "umph." That voice carried a trace of comfort. In an instant, it lit up the bedroom curtain. The caress and touch through the clothes could no longer satisfy Pinger's fiery passion. She had completely fallen in love with Ning Fan. "Master, please, take pity on me, don't worry. I will take pity on you, because you are my human cauldrons. I am different from those heartless people. If you don't do anything out of line, you will be safe for the rest of your lives." The bead curtain fell. Through the haze, 3 figures could be vaguely seen in the bed. The night passed. 2 blood plum blossoms bloomed under the thin blanket. The two ladies finally fell into a deep sleep. Even though their cultivation base had dropped due to being plucked, their expressions were peaceful. Compared to being plucked by others, it was undoubtedly a good thing to be plucked by Ning Fan. Looking at the two ladies who were sleeping soundly, Ning Fan could not help but sigh. If the two ladies did not meet Ning Fan, they would have a miserable ending if they fell into the hands of others. However, in Ning Fan's hands, they could live on as his concubines. The sea of blood in the cultivation world was cruel. Not everyone would be like Ning Fan, who would accept human cauldrons who had been plucked. Ning Fan's chi gradually began to rise. He sat cross-legged on one side of the bed and refined the primordial yin chi of the two ladies. The primordial yin qi contained in the two nascent soul realm human cauldrons was extremely vast. Both of them were willing to dual cultivate with each other. Their magical power seemed to have increased a little more than before. Ning Fan could feel that he was not far from breaking through to the next small realm. If his cultivation base advanced further, he would be at the mid-nascent soul realm. Chapter 206. After a good night, before the two girls went to bed, their tears had yet to dry and their faces were flushed with smiles. If both of them were willing to do it, then the act of making love was indeed a comfortable and relaxing thing. Under the bed, Ning Fan put on his clothes and sat on the cushion. Due to plucking, the two girls' magic power had fallen to early gold core realm. As for Ning Fan, he had 93 units of magic power. After plucking them, it increased to 135 units. After pondering for a while, he took out 27 gold core Dao fruits. Although the gold core Dao fruits could greatly increase his magic power, each of them could still increase his magic power by 1 unit. As for the nascent soul Dao fruit, his eyes fell on the Dao fruit with red patterns and became slightly excited. After consuming this Dao fruit, one's magic power would increase by 20 units. This magic power was already more than mid-nascent soul realm. If he successfully breaks through to the mid-nascent soul realm, it would still increase a little. From the pills he snatched, he found a 4th revolution pill called the essence condensing pill and consumed it. His eyes lit up. This nascent establishing pill could increase the success rate of breaking through to the mid-nascent soul realm. He closed his eyes and concentrated, accumulating magic power and refining the medicinal power to comprehend the bottleneck of the mid-nascent soul realm. If he successfully breaks through, he would reach the mid-nascent soul realm at the age of 340. This cultivation speed should make many descendants of the immemorial fiend god Vanes feel ashamed. In his dantian, the nascent soul opened its mouth and breathed. Traces of primordial energy of heaven and earth flowed into the nascent soul. Under the nourishment of the primordial energy, the tiny nascent soul suddenly flew out of the dantian and turned into a fist-sized baby that looked exactly like Ning Fan. The nascent soul seemed to be struggling. It formed a whirlpool of primordial energy around its body and kept gathering primordial energy into its body. During this process, the tiny nascent soul slowly grew bigger and more solid. From early nascent soul realm to mid-nascent soul realm, one must continuously solidify the nascent soul and completely stabilize it at the late nascent soul realm. After that, one would begin to comprehend the power of heaven and earth, break the nascent soul and refine the spirit. When the nascent soul is completely broken and turned into a primordial spirit, the cultivator would be considered to have successfully advanced to the spirit-severing realm and become a spirit-severing realm cultivator who could shake the outer endless sea with a stomp of their feet. In January, after the two girls woke up, they did not dare to disturb Ning Fan. They immediately changed their clothes and left to cultivate with the female guards. As for Ning Fan's nascent soul, after 1 month of condensing its primordial essence, its facial features became clearer and it even grew hair. Other than the appearance of a baby, it was almost no different from Ning Fan's. At this moment, Ning Fan had completely grasped the bottleneck of the mid-nascent soul realm. He kept his nascent soul back into his body and suddenly opened his eyes. Condense. The surging heaven and earth yuan force immediately entered his body. At this moment, Ning Fan's aura was rising steadily. After consuming the Dao fruit, his magic power had reached 182 units, but as he condensed his nascent soul, his magic power rose to 190 units. When his aura force reached its peak, Ning Fan suddenly stood up. The 1,000 zhang tall palace shattered under his aura force. Red tribulation clouds gathered in the sky above the Penglai Immortal Island. Many cultivators immediately realized that someone had broken through the bottleneck of the mid-stage nascent soul realm. Countless nascent soul realm old monsters spread out their divine senses and finally discovered that the person who broke through was actually in the southern desert of Penglai. That was the place where crazy devil Zhou Ming went into seclusion. Although some people were curious as to who had broken through to the next realm, no one dared to head over to investigate. Tens of thousands of miles of the southern desert had become the Penglai demonic land. No one dared to touch it. Within a month, Zhou Ming's name had spread throughout the outer endless sea. Everyone in the 10 sects knew that a demon had appeared in the immortal mansion of Penglai. As for those people who wanted to find trouble with the Elixir Cauldron Gate, when they heard that Zhou Ming was in seclusion in the Elixir Cauldron Gate, how would they dare to look for trouble? No one asked about it, only the cultivators of Pill Cauldron Gate were frightened by the terrifying heavenly might of the blood-colored heavenly tribulation. Before the soul formation realm, the heavenly tribulations of cultivators were all lightning tribulations. After that, there would be nether fire tribulation and Een wind tribulation. However, there had never been a cultivator whose lightning tribulation was red. Red represented the wrath of the heavens. The wrath of the heavens and the resentment of the people, that was why it was blood red. Under the blood red might, a young man in a white robe with a black cloak stepped into the sky. He held a blood red lightning whip in his hand and lashed out, shattering the tribulation clouds in half. Each of the lightning bolts was shattered by Ning Fan's whip before they could condense. So what if it's a heavenly tribulation? I have the lightning star that can control lightning punishment. Destroy it for me. With dozens of lashes, the heavenly thunder was shattered. The Pill Crucible cultivators were all dumbfounded. What kind of savage person dared to disrespect the heavens? This was the inverse cultivation, the true demon Tao. As for Ning Fan's enormous harem, each of their eyes were filled with vigor. It was because the one who shattered the heavenly thunder was their master. Their master could kill peak nascent soul realm cultivators when he was at the early nascent soul realm. How powerful would he be once he breaks through to the middle nascent soul realm? Not long after the heavenly tribulation appeared, it shattered. Ning Fan returned to the stone chamber and went into seclusion to regulate his breathing. 10 days later, he came out from seclusion. After consuming the 4th Revolution Essence fortifying pill, his mid-nascent soul realm was completely stabilized. Compared to other cultivators, he needed a few years to solidify his nascent soul. Ning Fan waved his hand and used his great magic power to reconstruct the palace that was initially destroyed. Inside the palace, he checked his body. Other than the fact that his magic power had broken through to 190 units, he had broken through to the mid-nascent soul realm and his spirit sense had broken through to the peak nascent soul realm. In other words, his incarnation in black robes already possessed the strength of a peak nascent soul realm cultivator. His teleportation speed was faster than a peak nascent soul realm cultivator, but it was still slower than a spirit-severing realm cultivator. As for the black current spirit splitting technique, it was enough to severely injure a peak nascent soul realm cultivator and kill a nascent soul realm cultivator instantly. Since his sword sense could not be improved, he could only kill an early gold core realm cultivator instantly. Unless he had a fortuitous encounter or obtained an ancient sword chi like the immortal execution sword chi, he would not be able to improve his sword sense and sword sense. Even so, the improvement of his combat strength was not a small matter. As for the lightning whip, it had successfully absorbed the power of the heavenly tribulation and advanced to a high supreme grade magical treasure. If Ning Fan were to fight Xiang Liao now, he would definitely be able to capture him after killing him. His instantaneous movement speed could travel 2,000 li in a single breath. It would become Xiang Liao's nightmare. Congratulations, Master. Your cultivation base has improved greatly. You will be able to rule Penglai for thousands of years. The voices of the 1,000 cauldrons were respectful and orderly. The female guards of the Ning family would be Ning Fan's harem. There were only 1,000 of them now. But in the future, there would be 10,000 of them, 100,000 of them, 1,000,000 of them, plunder the common people to provide for me. All of you continue with your cultivation. We will leave this place in 10 days. Master. The old ancestor of the Pill Cauldron sect, Xiao Wan Luo, requests to see you. Bing Ling's cold and gentle voice resounded outside the palace. Let him wait. Ning Fan did not have the time to care about Xiao Wanluo. He could easily guess that the reason why Xiao Wanluo chose to stay in the Pill Cauldron sect and wait for him to come out from seclusion was because he wanted to rely on Ning Fan. He wanted to use Ning Fan's prestige to establish his foothold in the external Endless Sea. Ning Fan had no interest in this matter. Compared to this matter, he was more concerned about something else. In his hand was an embroidery needle that shone with dazzling silver light. He had searched through the memories of the Xiang family's nascent empress, but he could not find out the origin of this needle. He had searched through Xiang Liao's memories and found out that this needle was a magical treasure that he had obtained by chance when he sneaked into the outer region of the heaven world during the opening of the ancient heavenly court. The reason why Ning Fan was concerned about this treasure was not only because it could sneak attack others and it was invincible. After all, ordinary nascent soul realm cultivators did not have a magical treasure like the Yin-Yang locket to defend against this needle. A sneak attack from this needle would most likely result in severe injuries. What Ning Fan was more concerned about was the fragrance of a woman that came from the needle. The fragrance made Ning Fan recall it repeatedly. Finally, he remembered why the fragrance was so familiar. Why? Because the fragrance was exactly the same as the fragrance on the female corpse. Could this needle be something that the female corpse used when she was alive? The female corpse and Mu Weiliang should be related. With Ning Fan's current strength, he was still not strong enough to fight against the female corpse. Otherwise, he could search through her memories. The female corpse did not have a soul, so her sea of consciousness would not be damaged. Wait. The female corpse does not have a soul. Could it be that Weiliang is one of the 3 souls and 7 spirits of the female corpse? Ning Fan's eyes flashed. If that's the case, it would explain why Mu Weiliang's aura was completely different even though she looked exactly the same as the corpse. It was because Mu Weiliang was just one of the 3 spiritual and 7 physical souls of the corpse. That was why her aura was different. If that was the case, Mu Weiliang's soul should be wandering in the ancient heavenly court together with the female corpse. Since she appeared in the demon's sinister forest, it meant that there was a path to the ancient heavenly court in the forest. As for Ning Honghong, a cultivator of Wu country, she appeared in the demon's sinister forest in Yu country. It was highly possible that she had died while searching for treasures in the ancient heavenly court. Her soul did not perish and was transported to the demon's sinister forest from another entrance just like Mu Weiliang. Someone had set up the demon's sinister forest in Yu country to raise ghosts. There was a path to the ancient heavenly court in Yu country. Ancient heavenly court, Ning Fan recalled the old monster's advice. There were still 90 years before the opening of the ancient heavenly court, which was around the same time as Moksha Emperor's arrival. If Moksha Emperor entered the ancient heavenly court, he would definitely come from the entrance of the devil world. However, he said that his true body would descend to Yu country. It was highly possible that Yu country had a path to the ancient heavenly court and he would descend from there. Why did an immemorial Dark Sparrow Valley fall in the Dark Sparrow Valley? Could it be that she died in a battle in the ancient heavenly court and fell from the entrance and landed in Yu country? Why did the clone of the Jade Lake Saintess stay in Yu country? Why did the old monster stay in Yu country with the token of the ancient heavenly court? Most likely, he had been searching for a way to cure Xiao Mei but to no avail. Because he couldn't find the inheritor of the yin-yang evil vein, he became desperate and wanted to go to the ancient heavenly court to find the secret medicine. Yu country must have a special position in the Rain Immortal world. No wonder a gold core realm cultivator like Nanyang Zi could become a female corpse in the ancient heavenly court. If the entrance of the ancient heavenly court of the Rain Immortal world was in another cultivation country, he might not be able to reach it even if he spent his entire life. All these clues made Ning Fan understand some of the things that had puzzled him before. Kei Shenxi establishing the Sinister Sparrow sect in the Dark Sparrow Valley was something that happened later. Before this, there was an almighty figure who raised the Pill Devil at the place where Dark Sparrow had fallen, raising the ghosts of the demon Sinister Forest. Some of the ghosts were killed by the people of Sinister Sparrow sect, while some were the souls of the people who had died in the ancient heavenly court. Their souls entered the demon's sinister forest and became the prison of that almighty figure. There should be 9 levels in the demon's sinister forest. The first 7 levels were in the Rain Immortal world and the last 2 levels were in the Heavenly Court. Every time the Heavenly Court opened, that person would go to the 8th and 9th levels of the demon's sinister forest to collect the true immortal level ghosts that were successfully raised. At that time, he might send someone to check on the Pill Devil. If he found any abnormalities in the Pill Devil, he would most likely be in trouble. There were still 90 years left before the ancient Heavenly Court opened. At that time, not only would he have to eliminate Moksha Emperor and compete with him, he would also have to offend a true immortal old monster who was scheming against the heavens and earth. This is really troublesome. Holding the embroidery needle, Ning Fan recollected his thoughts. Yu country was truly a land of muddy waters. Whether it was true or not, he would find out once he returned to Yu country in the future. After clearing his thoughts, he heaved a sigh of relief. If he ever returned to the Wu kingdom, he would bring Ning Honghong's corpse with him. At this moment, he should continue to improve his strength. In order to pry into the memories of the female corpse, one had to have sufficient strength, and the fastest way to increase one's strength was to pluck the 2 demonesses and use the secret technique of blood-piercing runes to increase one's body refinement realm. Originally, killing 12 nascent soul realm cultivators was enough for him to break through to the 2nd level of the Silver Bone. But now, he had killed 17 more nascent soul realm cultivators of the Xiang clan. With the addition of the Jade Royal Pill, breaking through to the 3rd level of the Silver Bone shouldn't be a problem. He would first refine his body, then deal with the demoness, and finally, deal with the female corpse. He patted his storage pouch and took out a stone figurine. With a tap of his finger, the stone figurine morphed into a mountain golem. Shirbing, I've collected enough secret blood. You can help me etch the magic mark now. You haven't become the young mistress's Southern Tower honorary professor. I can't etch the Mageweth for you. Stone Warrior refused. I will go there later. Ning Fan frowned. Stone Warrior was silent for a long time, and then said helplessly. I hope you are a man of your word. I will help you etch the magic mark now, but I have to remind you again that this process will be very painful. It's better if it's painful. You can eat this. Ning Fan flicked his sleeve, and a Jade Royal Pill appeared in his palm. Stone Warrior's hollow eyes suddenly tightened, and his stone face twitched. You even have a Jade Royal Pill that is hard to come by for an immortal emperor. What exactly is your background? You don't need to know, just etch the magic mark. Do you want the quota of the 9 worlds? A chance to ascend to the 4 heavens without reaching the void fragmentation realm? Stone Warrior cautiously asked. Oh. There is such a quota. Ning Fan was very interested. He wanted to know more about the secrets of the 4 heavens. From Stone Warrior's mouth, there was no doubt that he would be able to learn secrets that ordinary people would not know. You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.